Hello and welcome to episode 37 of the Geno52 podcast. I almost said the name wrong then.
What are you going to say?
I don't know, but I forgot the podcast name halfway through saying it. 37
It's been a month,
shows.
you've forgotten already.
Well, technically, it's nearly 3 years since we started this because we had our 3-year friend anniversary on Facebook.
We
didn't
did. We didn't start the cast till the summer though. It was like June or it was July, wasn't it? That we
July,
talked about
yeah.
it. So our
August.
first show didn't go out right.
We went
until
out.
the beginning
We went
of
out to an
September.
open day, didn't we? And that's when we decided to do it. So that must have been May, June time.
Things you decide in a queue to get into to Warhammer.
Yeah, well, yeah. We said, fuck it, let's make a podcast. So, yeah, anyway, nearly 3 years later, I still don't know the name of my own show. Anyway.
It did take us a long time to make a mind up, which was what name was
Oh,
called.
jeez, it's about 3 weeks.
Trying to get 3 people to decide
agree
a
on a
name
name.
when you all have ideas.
And I'm pretty sure I suggested this as one of the first things.
Yes.
Or it was
I
suggested
think it was my
very early.
suggestion.
Might have been yours, yeah. I think it was suggested very early on.
It was definitely suggested early on, and
We went through all kinds of things.
someone who's not here anymore vetoed it for a while.
We should have learned our lesson there.
He's not dead again. We should say that. That's what I see it saying. He's not here any with us. I don't think
dead.
he is anyway.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I think you spotted it. I think you
I
saw
spotted
him
him
a
in
little
town a
while
couple
ago.
of weeks
So,
ago. Yeah,
anyway.
he's not dead.
Anyway. Well done. Anyway.
We're consistent. We go off topic really
every
quickly.
show I think, right, I sit here, I have maybe a minute before we start recording, I think, I'm going to come up with a slick intro, like, you know when JP starts Age of Darkness and he's got his shout-outs for his social medias and it's all in line and boom, and I think I'm going to do it slick, and then within 3 seconds I go, nah, fucked it, we're off on something else again now. But anyway, this is episode 37 of the Geno52 podcast, and what have we got coming up? We're going to have our usual ramble on about what we're doing. I've been quite busy. There's been lots going on since the last show, so we've got a lot to talk about with that. Stu's mainly been chasing hobbits around, so
We won't be talking about that, don't we?
we won't be talking about that. But we do hope you enjoyed Open Play. But yeah, Stu's going to be. I mean, you've done some heresy commissions.
Yeah,
haven't you?
loads of heresy
So
related.
we're going to do that,
painting.
and then we have the inaugural Strump analysis. I've been through the FAQ, so prepare for 40 minutes of completely incorrect assumptions and wrong rules statements. So
I thumbed through it. I say thumbed through it. Scrolled.
you thumbed
through
in
it,
a softie.
looked at the fist bits and haven't really read the rest. I did read it. I skim read it the first day it was out, but I haven't
Yeah.
really absorbed it since then.
I have luckily been to 2 events since the FAQs dropped and have got some real world analysis
Makes it more
of the
relevant,
changes.
doesn't it?
So it's quite interesting. To
Rather
see
than a
what's going-
magenta on a page, it kind of
Yeah, I've got
gets
some
involved.
real world examples. So yeah, that's the plan. Have a bit of a bullshit. Then we're going to talk FAQ. We were hoping to talk Book 8, but Book 8 hasn't arrived yet. It has arrived to certain people, but it's not on general release. So we are without Book 8 at the moment. So we're going to save that. But I will say plans are for Book 8 when we get it in our hands to have a really good, thorough go through it, like we did with Book 7. Those of you who've been around for a while, where we went through it in detail. So once we get that, we will cover it, but we'll probably talk about a few bits from it because I've got some bits in my mind from it.
Mhm.
So cool.
Yeah, it depends when it arrives and what else we're recording at the time. We might have a little of an overview, and then there'll definitely be some detailed stuff.
How many babies you've got between now and then?
Well,
as
yeah, in fact, it's that Forge World have delayed this to the point where it might happen at the same time as
I can't
as
wait.
a baby,
I
which could be a
can't
bit of a
wait for
problem.
you to be in the maternity suite trying to order the book whilst Emma's trying not to kill you. So I can see you on the Forge World website trying to order the book.
She's just pinched some unhealthy food.
Oh yeah, to celebrate losing another half a stone, I brought like a ton of sweets around, and I did turn up and say everybody can have some. And just as you were trying to put your elder son to bed, it was like, oh yeah, but I'll say that too loud. Fill him up with Haribo and send him to bed. Yeah.
Well, it was Emma's turn tonight, so it'll be fine.
Do you want to do what you've been up to first then? Because it's probably going to be quicker.
Yes. So I'm painting lots of heresy stuff, and not for myself either. But
As well as always.
did quite a lot of Alpha Legion.
Yeah, they were
Had a
really
good play
good.
around with those.
What
as
did
well.
you do for that scheme? Because it's quite striking. It's a lot greener than.
I didn't want to use any of the existing schemes that
Yeah.
I'd seen out there. I wanted to do something quite different. And then the client wanted a metallic green-blue, but it was probably edged towards green a bit more.
I think
But
it
he
was
wanted
definitely
it
laser on the
matte.
green.
He wanted it fairly matte.
Oh, cool.
So it kind of was like, I scratched my head going, okay, how am I going to do this so it looks right? And I think what he'd done is he'd sprayed silver, lead belcher, and then he just kind of brushed on the spirit stone green. And I thought, well, I need to kind of get the essence of this so it's not too far different from the infantry and stuff he's already painted and owns, but also that so it's striking enough and have some fun with it and try and do my own kind of version of it. And it's been, it's gone down quite well, to be honest with you. It's probably the most nicely received on the kind of Instagram stuff of anything I've done. But it was...
it's very striking. It's a very striking
It's a very
scheme.
strong sort of pre-shaded metals going right through from Vallejo
a lot
black,
of contrast in it.
which is essentially just black.
A shiny black.
All the way up to Vallejo silver, but it's got scale black in there as well. Black metal in there as well. There's quite a few things. I put some brown pre-shade tones in as well, just to give it a little bit of depth in some places. You don't see it very well, but
just it's the sort of thing your brain doesn't consciously recognise, but picks it up in the corners.
Yeah, and then I did a really complicated mix, which I have to do by eye pretty much. But it's they do Vallejo model colour do 2 translucent paints. They're not clears; they're translucent paints.
Yeah.
So there's a green and there's a blue.
Yeah.
And then I've added in the intensity inks from scale as well, so the green and the blue.
To push
just
those.
a little bit, just to push it a little bit more. So I've mixed up this green myself. So I've 4 paints to mix this green, this turquoisey green, and then just like you do with any clear coat, airbrushed it over the top and try not to be too heavy so you don't destroy
of tiny thin layers and let it dry fully.
Yeah, and it delivers a fairly matte finish because of the paints I've used rather than them being a gloss
If
clear.
you've got the scales in there, if you're mixing scales in, especially in the pre-shade, the scale.
Well, the
natural...
inks, the scale inks are probably the most glossy out of anything they do. So they do add a bit of a gloss finish.
Not that gloss, are they?
But
compared
it's the model colour that really, really tones it back. And then, of course, you gloss it anyway to stick the transfers on afterwards. But rather than...
What are you using for matte varnish at the moment?
I use Vallejo.
You still have the Vallejo?
I still use Vallejo,
cool.
I've not tried the ACO. It's more because I find it easier to get hold of when I want.
The AK's a nightmare to get hold
and I
of.
like to be consistent in what I do. It's really important to know when I'm trying to do stuff efficiently. Right, I know this is what it's going to work and what it's going to do. And I buy the big bottles of the Vallejo stuff as well.
Well, the AK only comes in that big bottle, which I like as well. But I do like that super matte. It's really
Chip needs
strong.
to stock it so I can pick it off the shelf. Saying that, the stuff I get isn't the one that Chip stocks anyway.
The problem is we looked at AK and it's like, oh, that's a lot to buy in.
Yeah, you have minimum orders
they do that
and stuff.
In, what's the place in Gloucester that does all the AK? Antics.
There is an Antics, and they do have quite a lot of the AK range.
I wonder if they got the varnish.
They didn't when I checked, but they had space where stuff could have been, if that makes sense.
I might wander by. That's not far from.
But they had the full paint range.
Yeah,
as in a normal drop of bottle style paints, regular acrylic paints. So that was some different colours, definitely, that you'd normally use.
Their weathering stuff's really good as well.
That's
AK.
what I would normally go to, and I was surprised to see all the paints there. So obviously they cater for a lot of model kit users and stuff. So I don't know what they use for a lot of stuff. But yeah, anyway, I did that. The oil washes took a lot of the gloss away. And then I put a satin varnish on that because I didn't want to kill the metallics.
Just to straight out
completely.
The bottle.
I mix my matte and my gloss together. It's just I don't see the point in buying a satin.
Well, I like to one thing Grandmaster Steel has banged into my head lately is mixing your varnish finishes. So I do a lot. Like my destroyers, the armor is completely matte. And the pads are pure gloss. And it's just, like I say, those sort of, like you were saying about put the brown tones in it, you don't notice it. Your brain doesn't consciously
textures,
go.
Isn't it? Well, I talked about using scale, unvarnished sometimes paints on leather and stuff like that.
Well,
because it's a really ultra matte finish next to your gloss. Just adds depth.
And again, when I did those 2 days with Mark Mascalans, that was again one of the things he was talking about. He's like talking about, you don't just pick your paint for the colour, pick your paint for the finish and what you want to do. And he was talking about, like he likes scale, but he finds them very tough to base coat with. But he was like, just put a drop of Vallejo in it. Literally, like I will now. If I'm base coating, I'm working on Belladonna, the bounty hunter, and I wanted to use the Sahara yellow for her cloth. But it's a pain in the ass to build the base coat. So I got a Vallejo yellow that's fairly similar. Just put a drop in, literally one drop in a little puddle on, mix it in. It doesn't change the colour, but it changes the properties, and the paint base coats brilliantly then. So
I do a funny black mix, and I do it to change the colour as well. But when I'm painting black, I usually use Chaos Black spray, which is a really good base. And then I want to lift that black just slightly. And I use Scale Black. And then I use Model Colour Black. And I use a 50-50 mix of those. And the model colour black has almost got it might just be my eyes. We all see colours differently, but it almost feels like brown tones rather than grey tones.
Yeah.
But it just lifts the black nicely, and then you end up with a matte finish, but not so matte that it looks dry and dusty, which scale does sometimes.
Yeah.
And I find that as a perfect base for painting black.
See, I do something slightly different to you on that. I use the what's the primer I use? I use the Scale 75 primer, and that's super matte primer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that dusty look. And to work from that black up with colours, you find you get that matter finish as you pull through.
Do you use that as your primer?
Yeah. So I just prime it all, and then I'll start building up my colours off it. So if I want a slightly more matte finish, but I haven't got the scale colour, I can just pick up a sitter down. And it's not as matte as using a scale, but it just pulls through that.
It's a similar colour, to be fair, because I've used that a lot, but I
really
prefer
like
rattle can primers just for durability,
especially
especially when I'm doing it to send stuff off through the post.
And you're doing it in bulk as well. You know, when you try, I'm airbrushing on like a couple of models. If I'm doing scenery, if I'm doing 10 dudes, I'll get the Halfords grey out, Halfords black out.
I'm out in the garden with boards with like 3,000 points worth of stuff on in one go.
When I'm doing Belladonna and what's the bloody Grendel Grennison, the he's not the Stig.
I know what you mean.
The squat.
Yes, the Stig.
I'm doing 2 models in 4 parts. Airbrushing them. You know.
It's a similar colour because I've used that myself a lot. It's a very similar colour to what I create, and it just gives you a really nice finish to then paint onto.
Do you find putting the Vallejo in it allows it to go through the airbrush a little bit easier? I know scale's quite good in the airbrush anyway, but
well, this is why I use my mix for that black finish, because I've already primed it. I use that because it's easier to go through than an airbrush primer, which is sometimes can be challenging.
Yeah, I find with the airbrush primer, that scale airbrush primer, I tend to thin it quite heavily.
It's better than...
And
I find it easier to use than the Vallejo ones, though.
Yeah, the Vallejo ones are awful.
I can get them to work, but they are...
Yeah, but you get them to work. You'd rather... I thin the scale slightly more and maybe put 2 coats on, 2 or 3 coats on, but I'm building it up with an airbrush anyway, so it's sort of fairly easy.
They're great if you're not trying to do a complete coat.
Yeah.
So you are literally trying to put something for your paints to adhere to. So if you're doing a bust or something, something that doesn't need to be handled, they work fantastic for that. But as soon as you want a complete coat everywhere, especially if you've got a metal miniature, I find that as soon as you touch them, it's rubbing off where you touch.
The paint's slopping off.
That's I want something that actually coats the model to protect it when you're gaming it. And I'd rather prime well in that sense than add varnish, because a good prime, in my opinion, helps protect the model as well through gaming, rather than the varnish, which if you do too much will affect the final finish because you're filtering other colours. So that's why I prefer to have a strong prime on there than the other way around. But what else did I do? I did Legio Mortis AT.
Yeah, they were nice.
So I did those as well. They were good fun, and that's for Phil. I think Phil listens. So hello, Phil.
Death Guard Phil.
Death Guard Phil. Yeah.
Ah.
So
the man who's funding your second child.
He's funded quite a lot. So's Chase who I did all these word bearers for, and he got Giuseppe to do his Lorgar. Did you see the Lorgar?
Is that where that Lorgar's gone? Oh, that's lovely.
Has to go with that army.
That's quite nice that your army's considered up there with Giuseppe.
Well, I did the troops.
But
I didn't do the box art commission Lorgar.
I'd like to see them all sit together though. It'd be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, well, I think they chose the base colours and stuff to match in what I'd already done. I haven't spoken. I've never spoken to Giuseppe about it. But anyway, so yes, Chase has been funding me. In fact, he's really nice. He sent me some. I've got a lot more stuff to do from this summer.
Oh, cool.
I'm doing on some.
Is your garage still full of boxes of stuff that I need to steal?
Probably, yes.
Your undisclosed location.
I don't know if it's a secret project for him or not, so I won't mention what it is.
No, they wouldn't.
I'm doing a lot more work from this summer. That's cool. He sent me a nice. He's in Marine, so he sent me a Marine medal thing you can buy, and a shirt the other day as a little thank you. And I'm like, well, he's paying me to do this. But it was really, really nice.
Awesome.
Really nice touching thing. So I've done loads of heresy stuff, but it's not my own. But I almost don't need to do my own heresy painting anymore because I do so much of it through work.
You paint more heresy in a year than most people do anyway. So.
It's really weird. So it hasn't affected my passion for doing heresy, but it's definitely helped me not want to go. I want to do this legion. I want to do this legion. It's taken away that need. And that's why I'm happily sitting on my 2 armies at the moment, thinking about. I'm going to add a couple of units this year rather than I want to do a whole new army because I get to do them so
You've painted
often.
nearly every Legion going anyway.
I don't know if I have. There's still a lot. I've done more repetition than I have new ones, but I've done enough that
You are the UK Death Guard specialist.
Okay, well, one UK and one US one that I've gone there. But anyway, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. What have I been doing?
Loads.
I'm
just going to go and leave the room now. Tom's going to talk at you for the next hour and a half.
No, it's been good. We've actually managed to get some games in. I've been to some events. I've done some stuff. So we'll cover some events. So first of all, I ventured down to that there big smoke I did. I went down to London town. So a couple of weeks ago, I went down to the new Darksphere store in W12 shopping centre, Shepherd's Bush.
I saw pictures. It looked really cool.
It's when you describe it, it sounds really bad because you go into this shopping centre and you go down into the basement and it's a store in the basement.
Right.
And it sounds quite, but actually you go down this escalator, go in, it's a massive store, big wide open store, loads of game tables in the middle.
Did it used to be a JJB or something like that? Because there used to be loads of JJBs in like sort of subway type things. There's one in Worcester that was like that.
Yeah. But it's a really nice store, loads of stuff in there, lots of room, lots of space, well lit, it's great. And the great thing is you are below a shopping centre, so like game one finished, we were about 20 minutes after game one finished, everyone was in Wetherspoons ordering food.
Perfect.
Wetherspoons
location so cool. They were in I'd never been, but they were in under railway arches.
Yeah, I think they're still there. They're still down there. That's East London. That's down.
So they've got a second store.
This is a second store.
Not just moved.
I think so. Don't quote me on that, but
someone will tell us.
Yeah, someone will tell us. But yeah, it's really cool. I like the store. So Brendan from Sons of Heresy organised with Nicholas from Don't Lose Your Head. Centurion using the Mournival Centurion pack, which is really interesting. Mournival events. So that's Tom Gould, I think, from Australia, Heresy enthusiast. A bunch of the guys out there, really well play tested, really slick set of rules. Big headlines. No Archmagos, no Primarchs, no Praetors. They've created a console level custodes character, so you don't have to run a shield. You can't run a shield captain. It's like a Talon Master or something. Really nicely balanced as well. So
that's interesting, especially as we've got new consoles coming.
It
soon,
takes that top tier.
Makes me think, I'd like to see that as a.
But it takes that top tier out. So you not because some Centurion games tend to devolve into here's my Praetor and my Death Star unit versus here's yours, and it's run in the middle of a fight. Taking those out has option, and they've got they've created a bunch of Right Wars and stuff as well for like tactical companies and assault companies. So like if you run 2 assault squads, you get extra bonuses. So there's a lot of encouragement in that pack to do other things. So if you're interested in that, go in the Mournival Events Facebook page, in their files, their Centurion document. It's really good. We were chatting in the Onion Ploy Facebook group, Facebook chat that we have for the organisers, and I'm suggesting maybe adopting it because it's really good. It kind of brings that power level down, and they've got some nice clarifications on the restrictions. So a lot of the units are 0 to 1 restricted, but you can only have one restricted unit per 500 points as well. So if you've got a bike unit, at 500 points, you can't have any of the other restricted units. So there's allocations as to. So at we pay 1,500 points. You could have 3 choices of those restricted units, but still only 0 to 1 of each.
A bit like a Weight Watchers diet.
Yeah. If you have your caramel crunch, you can't have anything else for the day.
I'm not. To be honest with you, if you're looking to expand on Centurion, that sounds like a good shout.
Oh god, it's really good.
They play test it. It's well established. Those guys have been writing rules for stuff. There's rules, getting miniatures made, and all kinds of things.
Yeah, they're really good. The Australians, it's really, really good. So, first of all, as always, I rolled up against fucking Killer, didn't I? And I took the Mechanicum, and he's got herpes bolt rounds, which is fucking amazing because Mechanicum, strength 5. You're looking at toughness 5. And feel no pains and, you multiple wounds. So when somebody's got 10 heavy bolters that are strength, poison 2+, and when Killer goes, first round of shooting, AP 1, second round of shooting, AP 2, third round of shooting, AP 2, fourth round of shooting, AP 2, fifth round of shooting, I'll fire at your thralls because I've killed everything else, AP 5, I've only got 5 up armor on my thralls, fucking hell. It basically came down to a game where my Ursaracs were at the bottom of the building with where the bolters were in the second turn. So they'd have jumped up and charged them, and they'd have done the trick then. They failed a stubborn 8 leadership test, ran away for 2 turns, and just left 10 heavy bolters. Because I'd run them up with my my hoplites, hoping to do what Killer did. He was worried about the hoplites, so he fired at the hoplites, keeping the Ursaracs, basically got the Ursaracs one more a turn where they weren't being fired at, so they could close the distance. I managed to charge another unit in turn 2 to get them in, wipe them out, to get them in position turn 3 to go through. So I was like, that's cool, I'm in the right position. I've got 4 Ursaracs to jump up and start dealing with 10 Marines. You know, when you've got 4 power fist, strength 10 power fist attacks on the charge, that should generally do that unit in. Yeah, then they fail a leadership test and run away, and great. So my entire flank had collapsed, and suddenly it was like, right, herpes bolters for the rest of your army, because I mean they just absolutely devastate me. But it was a great fun game with Killer, as always. He just smashed the absolute living shit out of me. It was good fun. Then I played Jack with his army is 2 units of destroyers, 2 Praetors, 2 Moritats, and some quad mortars and something else. But he was running 1 squad as an assault squad. Oh yeah, two tactical squads, 2 destroyer squads, and the Moritats.
Yeah.
But he was running one of the destroyer squads as an assault squad to make up the compulsory choices and stuff. So because I think the mortal events you have to take 3 infant troops choices. You have to take an additional troops choice.
Seems sensible.
So it was cool. Like, we knew what they were. Destroyers are pretty wild now. They've had a massive points drop in. They're pretty fucking sweet. And 10 of them with 2 missile launchers just do some fucking work. And Moritats that don't overheat on 2s anymore with their plasma guns, they do some fucking work as well. So my plasma Moritat basically got used at not Cortis. It was Jungles of a car I took it. And he got about 4 shots off in 3 games. Because it rolled a 2 and it stops firing. And he killed himself in 2 out of 5 games with his plasma guns. So now they only overheat on 1s. When you're hitting on 2s and you're getting 6 shots a gun, they are tasty. So destroyers with a plasma Moritat are pretty tasty. Now, a caveat that, which is something we discussed, is at the event we all found like destroyers and Spartanax that I went to a couple of weeks later, which I'll talk about in a minute. Destroyers in Centurion are good, really good, really good. Now, I haven't played with destroyers in a big game, a frontline game now, where I might have the tools to get rid of them quicker.
Yeah.
But they are a genuine threat on the table now. Really, like, good choice on the table. We'll cover that in a bit. But yeah, so played Jack's destroyers, and he put his fist in me, but it was a good fun game. I like that. It was good fun. And then I played Johnny and his Blood Angels, and I was like, this is gonna hurt because they're really good and they like to kill machines. And of course, everything. So I got turn 1. I deployed. He had nothing on the table. Day of Revelation. Everything comes in. I'm like, great. Here we go. I overwatched his Praetor as they he landed. I then got my turn 2 because obviously he didn't do much shooting because he landed. I managed to shoot enough. His Praetor ran away twice across the table. I shot another squad up and they ran away. It was like, fuck, like they've turned. And the Vorax came stomping across the table and started eating things. And it was really good actually because it got really close. We basically ended up with this melee in the one corner where we were both just feeding troops into it. And it was just like my shield wall of hoplites came piling in, and thralls were in there just being annihilated, and they were just hacking and slashing through things as my Vorax were basically coming across the table from the opposite wing. And it was this game of like, how fast can the Vorax get there? Because if the Vorax get there, they're going to start eating things. And the Vorax didn't make it in time, and his Praetor rallied and like ran back across the board and then started hacking things to pieces. So it was great fun. And fair play to the Sons of Heresy boys. They did a good job running the event, and Nicholas as well. It was a really good fun event. It was a lot of the usual crew from around the country. It's the first time I've seen them for a few months.
Like an organised play day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an event in the loosest terms. I think it was a lot of like, it was mainly the crew that we normally see at events.
So you pay to be there and play the was it just random who played who? Was it?
No, narrative. There were sides.
So it was like an event. I know they kind of build it as not an event, but maybe it grew into
There were
that.
sides, there were narratives, we had cards with extra bonuses on, there were set missions, there were organised games. It was fun.
It sounds like it grew into more of an event than an organised play.
Yeah, it was. I think it was more loosely around like everyone chipped in some money to cover the table rents and a few bits and pieces.
Yeah.
It was definitely a laid-back day. It was more of a hangout day. I think there were some prizes for best painted armies and stuff. We had Cy Davis and Meadows there, so it was a 50-50 competition between the pair of them. Right, yeah, it was great. It was great fun to hang out with everyone, see everyone. I managed to see Tom Sargent's Blood Angels before the accident.
I don't know what happened to him. I'm reading between the lines from seeing posts, but
I don't know. Tom told me, and
I understand they got stolen. Is that true?
No.
Okay.
They didn't get stolen. Only because I don't know what Tom's saying. I won't. Say
I was just about to say.
Basically,
I lost
all.
I know he doesn't have them anymore.
He sold off nearly all of his He sold off pretty much everything of his heresy collection. He bought the Blood Angels again, and they went through work. They went. Is probably all I'll say because I don't want to say something Tom's not.
He doesn't have them anymore, and it's not his fault.
But what was really cool is so he had the Blood Angels at the event we saw them. But this happened in between then and Spartan Axe, and by the time we got to Spartan Axe, Pete Dunn had rallied the troops, and a lot of us friends from his club, people we knew. And we managed to raise about 700 quid. And chucked in some money. We raised about 700
I saw the post about that, but I thought, I didn't see any posts in any group asking
Pete, it was all in
it a bit more.
It was in a lot of the like the Jungles of Car chats.
Yeah,
Pete sets up Facebook chats for his events. So, and there was a lot of messages around in that. Because I messaged Pete and said, I'll take your message and I'll share it out on the Geno. And he didn't want to. He wanted it to be a surprise for Tom.
I guessed it was more
so it was done quietly around the back as a surprise for Tom. Yeah, he likes surprises around the back quietly. That's what I've heard. That's why he travels with Giles Massive Dong at Horatio Massive Dong or whatever the fuck his name is. Giles. He apparently.
Do we need to have this conversation?
It was the topic of conversation for W12 and Spartan Axe. Giles is very well endowed and was quite happy to show Jason the pictures of it around the table. It was at Briach, at Pete's Breach event. That was quite a messy event by all sounds.
Well, if that kind of stuff's going on,
God, yeah. Giles, ladies of the heresy, Giles King is your man. He's apparently he can choke a baby with it. That's probably not the best phrasing, but there we go. Anyway, so
a baby's arm holding an apple, is that?
Yeah, I meant like looping it around a baby's neck rather than down the throat. But
I'm not sure that's any better.
I don't think either.
No.
Yeah, Giles Massive Dong. He was at both events with his massive dong.
I don't mean choke, I mean strangulation.
Yeah, strangulation. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah. And like we said at the time, if there's things to be known for in the heresy, and having a massive dong is probably not a bad thing. So we'll go with that.
What's it? Yeah, okay.
I'm just thinking if you're ever worried about coming to a UK Horus Heresy event, you joining this kind of motley collection that we tend to travel around with doing these events, come along, it's great.
Yeah, it's just like a rugby tour.
It's like a nerdy, stupid, toy soldier based rugby tour. It's great. It's excellent. But yeah, so that was W12. That was great fun. They did a great job down there. That was good fun. And then 2 weeks later, we assembled again with a lot of the similar faces and some other crew for Spartan Axe Infantry Side. Yeah, so we went down to the Surrey Death Trap, also known as the Spartan Axe Clubhouse. We got there, walked in, so I went, yeah, it's rained yesterday, roof's leaking again. It's fucking great. And we started doing the briefing, and he was like, yeah, your escape routes are this way and this room. Yeah, I will go and take the chains off that fire exit in a minute. And he could see me twitch in the corner. Yeah, so this was run by Cy and the Surrey Spartans, Cy Davis. It was 1,500 points, pure infantry, very heavily restricted centurion. Pretty much, full on infantry was what we did. I took what became known as the bullshit Mechanicum army of rerolls. Because when I started playing the first game, I went, oh yeah, that unit, my thralls have got hatred. My hoplites and peltasts, I'm going to take preferred enemy infantry on. I took my Myrmidon Destructors for the first time, which have hatred everything. So my Thalax and my Ursarex they don't have rerolls. Oh, so the guys with the Strength 10 Power Fist don't get rerolls. Oh, boo-hoo. And your Thalax with your Magos with the Paragon Blade hasn't got a reroll. Yeah. People felt very sorry for me because essentially my dice roll was roll the dice, pick up the ones I didn't like, try again, and pick them up again. And then just keep throwing. It was hilarious because I'm re-rolling shit all over the place. Yeah, it was quite good fun. But I'm gonna. So we're getting down to Necessary Spartans. Loads of we're on 4x4s. Loads of tables out. Loads of super narrative again. Size command point system again, where you're generating command points to buy bonuses. So that didn't help when I was buying bonuses for things. And I got
getting rerolls.
I got an Axiarch. I got one of my hoplite. My hoplite alpha had an Inferno pistol, and I had augury scanners and rerolls to charge distances, and because I crushed and ended up with like 30 command points after the first game, and was just like, I'm but spending a shit on stuff, re-rolling failed charges and all kinds of shit. It was pretty funny. I'm going to apologise because I've forgotten the first guy I played. He was standing for Sai, and he was running Sai's Dark Angels. So I apologise. I've completely forgotten the dude's name. It was a great game. It was great fun. It was we started like 12 inches apart. So it was like, oh shit, the Ursa, I got first turn, deployed aggressively. He stole on me, as always. So his assault squad made it into my Peltast first turn. Got into combat. I was like, great. They managed to hold, just about not get wiped out. So his assault squad, his 15-man assault squad was then stuck in combat. And the Ursarex happened to be lurking by. So the Ursarex did what the Ursarex did. They jumped into him and punched a load of them to death. The hoplites took out a few, and the assault squad vanished. And then the Ursarex jumped the gap over to his size. Dark Angels had they had just like a 50-man assault squad, a Terminator squad, a 5-man heavy bolter squad with acid rounds, a 5-man missile launcher squad, and a 10-man rotor cannon squad. So there's 3 heavy support squads. So it's a lot of firepower downrange. So I managed to break through. The Ursarex jumped into the 10-man heavy bolter. The 10-man heroic cannon squad smashed enough to make him run away. They fell back 9 inches. He was 8.5 inches away from the table edge. So it was like, fuck. So they ran away. The Myrmidons were stood there. The Myrmidons wandered around a corner and went, oh, you got heavy bolters up there, have you? Okay. Martian Death Rays into them and just wiped them out in one go. Because, they're 12 shots, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, wounding on 2s, re-rolling 1s. So I think every round of shooting they did over the course of 3 games, I think the worst I did is I dropped 2 wounds. So I was putting 10 wounds onto squads, 10 plus wounds on the squads every single time shooting. So, okay, it's AP4. Now your solar would just evaporate.
Yeah, they tend to.
They just disappear. Marines with power armor. Okay, you've got 3 ups or 2 ups. Okay, go roll 10 3-ups on a 5-man squad. You're going to lose 2 or 3. You're going to take a leadership test. All right, you've lost 3. All right, there's 3 more wounds. Take another. You just weigh a dice on them. So they evaporated the heavy bolters. Then they evaporated his Terminators, and then they evaporated his missile squad. My hoplites charged into his tac squad on a bridge, and it was just like, I got a 10-man tac squad. You've got 3 hoplites. I said, yeah, but we're on a gangway. You're going to get 2 dudes in. So it was just this undignified slapping match in the middle for 3 turns while like 2 Marines could punch these hoplites, and they just because they've got boarding shields and stuff, so they just stood their ground. And then the Ursarex jumped into them and finished them off. And then they finished his Praetor and Terminator armor off. And they just munched the bullshit. And it was like, oh, this army's quite efficient at killing infantry then. Whoops. Because, the Peltasts and the hoplites getting... Peltasts hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s on both of them with kinetic hammer shot rounds at AP3 rending. They're just dicking through stuff. So that was quite fun. And... yeah, that was good fun. And then we had a little army on display, and we'd had to build a support character. Mm-hmm. So you got your you were only allowed to take 1 HQ, and then your normal Age of Darkness, and then you got a free support character. So me and Brendan, being the Mechanicum bullies we pointed out to Sai that a Magos Dominus didn't really work, because Magos Dominus goes with monstrous creatures, no monstrous creatures. So we took our Axiarchs, Secretary Axiarchs, our support characters. So I got my Secretary Axiarch as my support character. Spent little armies on display. There were some beautiful armies about. Lots of people voting for Sai's armies because all 3 of his armies were out on display. I think it was Harry. Harry took his voting slip up and he voted for one of Si's armies first and one second. And Si went, "They're both mine." So he went, "Oh, sorry," went away and voted for the third one and handed it back to Si. He's just going, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" So can't really get away with it. Yeah, so that was cool. And then after lunch, the usual barbecue got fired up. They didn't set fire to the barbecue again. They didn't set fire to the building, so that's always a positive win. Mark was cooking. Nobody died. We all ate. It was good fun. I actually then played Tom Sargent. This was after he'd lost his army, so he was using Si's Alpha Legion. So it was really nice by them. That was a really tough scenario. So he was trying to escape across the board with these three, I think they're like people of interest or messengers of hope or something. He was trying to escape the planet with these three, basically three characters to get into a shuttle. So we had to make it across the board. So he started with his whole army on the board, and he got a 5-man Volkite squad, which heavy Volkites, which scared the shit out of my mech army because they're strength 6 AP4. They just blitz through me. You got Terminator squads, Weapon Master vets. So we got quite a big punch, and I can only deploy 2 armies, 2 units, and he'd got first turn. So I was like, fuck, I could get tabled here. Like, he's got all the time. None of my choices to put models on the table were any good. So I was like, oh, fuck. So Tom, being the gentleman he did, he put it into me. He wiggled it around, and just before he was about to really push my face in the ground, he pulled back a little bit. So he could have tabled. I think if Tom had really put pedal to the metal and pushed it, he could have tabled me turn 1 before I'd done anything. And what did I have first turn? No, I had first turn, so I got the first shots off. But he got a full turn of shooting back at me, and I got very small. I put the thralls and the hoplites on the table, because like they are my most survivable units, because the hoplites got a good invuln. The thralls are a 15-man squad and they're fearless, so he's got to wipe them all out. So I was like, oh, that's my best tactic. So Tom, he didn't. For the sake of the game, he pulled his punches a little bit, I think, to be fair. And then being the nice gentleman, I crushed him mercilessly. So turn 2 came round and I rolled all my reserves on, and my Myrmidons came on, and he had to come to me. So my army's quite a shooty army, that's why I just sat there and let the Earthstrikes go in and punch things to death. So I won that in the end, but I won that because Tom was a gentleman about turn 1. There was definitely some salt. Table Tom made an appearance again, so he got table turn 1 by infiltrating, because he could only put 2 squads on the board. Infiltrate, and he was playing a Raven Guard player. He'd taken his Emperor's Children, he's playing Raven Guard. I think he played Will Henry. I think Will Henry put it into him sideways. He came over, he was so sorry. I think he just got seized on, and the infiltrating Mordathan popped up by his 2 squads and just like flamed them into the ground, absolutely annihilated them. And Tom was like, and he came stomping into the room, and he was all, and I said, if that had been you, you'd have done exactly the same thing. He went, that's not the point. I said, it is. You did it. So I made him kiss and cuddle by the end, and they were happy. But Table Tom got tabled in turn 1 again, which is great. It always makes my events. So that was a real brutal scenario. But yeah, I was lucky enough that Tom Sargent was a gentleman, and we played 5 turns. He got beaten in the end, but we played a game for a couple of hours, and actually the results not relevant really. We had fun and we had a giggle for a couple of hours, and he was gentlemanly about it.
Is it really?
Yeah, exactly. Like, so he could have tabled me in turn 1, and we'd have been stood there for an hour and a half going, no, what are we doing now?
The result only matters if it happens.
I mean, I gave him no
one of you as an individual. So
I gave him no mercy and crushed him mercilessly, but that's what Mechanicum do. And then I popped up for a third game, and I think some of the side been paying attention to the fact I'd just been a bit merciless, and he threw me in against Matt Burney's Custodes. And I tell you what, I did not realise that the what's the shield squad, the troops.
Oh, God.
You've got the spear guys and you've got the shield guys, haven't you, with the swords?
Yes.
Shield and swords. Whatever they are. The Sentinel Guard.
Yes.
The Sentinel, because not the Heriton, the Sentinels. I didn't realise that you could put Solarite Power Fists on all of them. All of them can take Solarite Power Fists. Strength 10, AP2, Mastercrafted Power Fist. Make my army go, ooh, that's scary.
I can make most things do that.
Yeah, but the scenario basically was Matt had to deploy in the middle. I got to deploy after him, and I had to kill his warlord. So I put Peltas, Ursarax, Peltas, Thalax, and the Myrmidons down around his lord, outside of charging range, but inside of gun range. and mercilessly fired at him for 2 turns and annihilated his warlord. So I won the game, but like I said to Matt, I was like, if I don't do this in turn 1 and 2 and you touch me, that's it. I'm down. He's got a Harrison Guard. He got those fist boys. Luckily, like he put the fist boys. I sort of deployed the other end of the board so they couldn't do a lot. He got like 11 models. So like the thralls piled into his squad, and he was killing like 3 or 4 of them a turn, but they're fearless, and he just couldn't wait. I just bogged them down. Mm-hmm. Ursarax arrived and started punching.
Discussions we had when they first came out was how to deal with them, and one of them was
just bog the hell out of them with stuff that isn't going to run away. Fearless thralls that are not going to run away.
Exactly.
So the thralls were limited to 15 for the event, so I couldn't take the full 20. So I can only take 15 thralls. But yeah,
if you put them in piecemeal,
will also say I have never played a game. Well, apart from that Necromunda game I played with Kurt the other day, which happened to me, with somebody who rolled so many bad dice. Matt, I don't know what he does, but his dice absolutely hate him. He's like, I got to make three 2-up saves. Bang, 3 1s. Like, all game. And he changed his dice twice. Like, he stopped using sets of dice, and they just all fucking hated him. I've never... I was rolling reasonably well, and it favoured me. But he got fucked by his dice. Absolutely fucked. And it couldn't happen to a nicer bloke. Matt is one of the nicest guys in Heresy.
Nice guy.
He's such a lovely guy. He paints lovely armies. He comes and has loads of funds. And his dice just absolutely destroy him. So, that was really good. Spartan Axe was all good fun as always. Loads of good narrative fun. Loads of giggles and laughs. Nobody died. Which is actually a genuine miracle. I drove down with Kurt, and we had a good giggle and a chat. We had our usual KFC on the way home, which is always good fun. I managed to pick up the runner-up prize for support character for my Secretary, my Axiarch, so I was quite chuffed with that. So I've got a runner-up prize for my Warlord from that event, and I've got a runner-up prize for my second HQ, so I'm always a bridesmaid at Spartan Axe, but no, it was great. And Si's done an amazing job.
Just getting you back for always being bridesmaid at Geno events.
I had that conversation with Kurt on the way back. I just think he just fixes the vote, so I come second because he hasn't got a glass trophy yet.
He has now. Did he get one last time?
I don't think he did he?
We had this, I feel we've had this conversation.
I think so.
When we remembered that he did get something.
He definitely won something.
But wasn't it not for painting or something? I can't remember.
But anyway, yeah. So that was another cracking event. The UK event scene is alive and well. And if you want a real good giggle playing Heresy, the guys that there's like I said, I think I've talked about it, like there's a core of probably 10 to 15 of us that tend to hit up quite a lot of events, and it's a real good giggle, and you just get involved with it. Like I was talking to Tom about it, Tom Sargent, because I think the first time I met him was Blood and Glory not the last one, the one before, 2 years ago now. And he was saying like that was his first event, and that's how he met. Like he met people on the event scene then, and you just get suckered into this group. Like Harry and Callum have done the same as well. Like they hit an event and they get suckered into it, and you just end up keep going to these now because they're a good giggle.
It looks like this year, I mean, this is someone who's not on the event scene apart from helping you run the Geno stuff at the moment, because I'm not planning to be going on to any events. My Heresy game is going to be very much garage gaming with children on the way, but it feels like this year that we've had years of focus things. So it's the year of ZM, the year of Centurion, the year of this or that. Now it feels like it's kind of it's matured enough that there's a massive range.
Oh god, you can play whatever you want
of different types.
Well, when we get onto we're going to talk a bit about what we've announced for the Onion employee, and that's stop calling it that. The Ophi employee.
You should get that on the trophies.
Yeah, I might. Well, the chances are my spelling it fucking will be. We're doing something very similar with mixing up what's going on. But anyway, yeah. So aside from gaming, I finished up my 80. Weapon upgrades for my Warlord, so the laser blasters, the power fists, the 2. I didn't realise you get 2 plasma annihilators on the weapon sprue. That's really good, because I was like, 1 plasma, 1 fist, laser blasters. But I was like, I kind of want to run dual plasma.
And now you can.
And I can. I might just be me being thick, but yeah, it's dual plasmas. Did that. I did another Gatling blaster for my Reaver as well, so I've now got the option of I've got 2 Gatling blasters, 2 laser blasters, and the fist, so I can swap between those combos on my 2 Reavers. I'm still figuring out how the fuck to use this game. I know the rules, but I don't know what I'm doing with them. I keep blowing stuff up and not being a very good princess, but I'm having good fun with it. So did that. Yeah, got those finished off. I haven't really done much heresies. I've been painting Juves. There's no Tomorrow for our Necromunda campaign because I just keep getting Juves and keep building Jews and keep painting them, but that's for fun. And mainly, the only other thing I've really been doing is mulling over plans from Book 8. So I've been getting excited for... Demons has always been on the list for me, and the Demons of the Ruinstorm list is definitely there, but I'm looking at them. From what I understand from the bits I've heard now, like, I need to sit down and go through that list. It's really sandbox, super sandbox, so it needs, like, more planning, more planning. So that's going to be, I think, not an immediate project. I want to rush out and go and do that project straight away. So Demons is going to be a bit of a longer... So I'm sort of planning around Ultramarines expansions and stuff with the Anti-Psyker console and the Anti-Psyker Terminators. I'm basically going to build an Ultramarines like late Calth, veterans of Calth, kind of... They've been fighting the Word Bearers for long. They've kind of specialised in anti-demon crap, and so I'm going to have a squad of the Anti-Psyker... It's basically the rough outline is Herald in a Dreadclaw with some Mark V Marines as Weapon Master veterans. Mm-hmm. So like veterans of Calth, combat masters with a Herald. The Anti-Psyker HQ in the new console with 5 of the Anti-Psyker Terminators and a Terminator Librarian in a Spartan, painted black. Everything's black, blue pads, matte black. Probably the Destroyers and Plasma Destroyers with it because I can't squeeze in the Morotax. I've already got 3 HQs. And then what else was I going to do? Terminators in two squads of regular Terminators in Land Raiders. So it's going to be like a wall of AV-14. Oh, and then a Contemptor in a drop pod and a Flamestorm Box Dread in a drop pod. So you've got like this wall of AV-14. You've got the Spartan and 2 Land Raiders on the table. And then immediately 2 pods come crashing down with Dreadnoughts in. And then so there's like the anvil driving up, and then like this hammer of like stuff coming from the sky raining down as well.
Sounds cool.
Quite cool.
I
So
like
I've sort of mixed that idea up, and there's going to be a mixture of like the regular Terminators will be in blue Land Raider and blue Planet Police, so they're like the core of the army, and then there's like this specialist core of this sort of specialised anti-word bearers, anti-demon force.
You work well with what you've already got, so you can kind of drop units in and out, but it also gives you another different style of play within the...
Yeah. I like the sounds of the Volkite.
Still never be a terror though, will they?
We just turn up when it... Look, if you read the fluff, the whole reason... I've worked it out. Guilliman is essentially the most important Primarch, and the Ultramarines are the most important Legion, because why does Horus rush to Terra? Because the Ultramarines are coming, and we basically shepherd him in, we sort out the Emperor... We get him on his golden throne, so he's sorted.
He left him to be mortally wounded, so he can be the Emperor 10,000 years later.
But he survives 10,000 years, doesn't he? He survives 10,000 years. He's still going. We get rid of that mutant Sanguinius. You know, we don't really want big wings mutant. Don't we really need him in the Imperium? And he dies to be a martyr.
Did he survive? He kind of did.
We turn the Blood Angels up to 11.
He had a bit of a sleep.
We make the Blood Angels. Let's face it, they're a bit. Oh, we don't like that we get so angry. No, fuck that. Turn it up to 11. Get angry. Get shit done. So, to get them sorted. Dawn, we just make him a little bit less boring. We let him get off to, go and fight the Iron Cage and just become, a fisty glove. Get his fisty glove out. He likes his BDSM glove out. And, the Khan is the Khan, and White Scars, well, nobody's bothered by them, are you, Pete? So the Ultramarines is the most important. They're literally setting up the whole reason it actually... The Imperium wins is because Guilliman scares Horus.
Nice.
Fact. Come at me.
You should write the 40k fluff.
That pretty much is the 40k fluff. It pretty much is the 40k.
It's about that.
Oh yeah, but look. Who's come back in 40k? Guilliman. Guilliman's still around. Where's the Khan? I'm running around.
After a bit
in
too much
Terror.
rejuvenate treatment.
He's got a hell of a fucking. He's got some hell of a collagen in him. Some bloody Botox in his face. Anyway. Enough of that. Book 8, we'll cover Book 8 properly. So.
When we've got it.
Yeah, when I've actually got it. And I can start actually not making rules up. But yeah, the other big thing we did is we actually dropped what is going on at the Ophion ploy. So we've sort of alluded to it a bit, and we talked about it. We've confirmed all the details now. So I thought we'd give a quick run through of what actually is happening. So it's going to be 4 separate events run over the course of a weekend. five events run over the course of a weekend, and a painting competition. It's basically way too ambitious, way too much for me to cope with, and it's going to be hilarious.
What are you on about? It's going to be less work than normal because you've got people in to do it.
Yeah, but I've got... yeah. Anyway, yes. To cope with the fact that it's stupidly ambitious, I've actually brought competent people in to run it. So I've got Sam from the Empress Path. I'll say we've got Sam from the Empress Path, and we've got Dan, who has done the Legion of Peterborough events in the past. They're coming in to run events and support generally. So there's 4 of us as crew. So we're a bigger crew than ever. But what we're going to be doing, so it's going to run over... Oh Christ! I did all my notes.
I thought you were reading from something.
No, I prepped all the notes and I got all the notes together. Do you know what I didn't write down? What the actual dates are. So, starting on the Friday the 12th of July, we're going to run a 3-game 1,500-point narrative Adeptus Titanicus event. So we're going to have 3 games of Titanicus, and that's going to be the Giant's Grave. So that will feature, it's basically the tale of a battle on a planet in the subsector, in the Ophion subsector. We are then going to have, on the Saturday and Sunday, a 3,500 point frontline narrative gaming event. But the tickets for that will be a ticket for Saturday for 2 games and a ticket for Sunday for 2 games. So you can play on the Saturday or the Sunday, or you can buy a ticket to both and play both. There'll be 3,500 point frontline games. Going to have special characters. They will be limited to 1 per day, so there'll be a sign-up sheet and stuff for that. So you'll be able to grab your special characters, because we're in a subsector war now. We might see a few Primarchs. This is a good corner of the galaxy's on fire now. And this is a staging post on the route to Terra, so yeah, people might turn up. Basically, we've had a year of no special characters. There's a Primarch that's just arrived. I imagine a few Blood Angels players would like to use him, so we're gonna open that up. It's a big conflict. It's going to be the war for a.
It's an agri-world, isn't it?
No, it's a sect. It's a sect.
No, farming? No,
no
onions? No
onions. No
just leeks.
Just leeks. Just leeks. So that's the eradication of Tetra.
Mm-hmm.
Tetra parts 1 and parts 2.
Is that a type of onion?
Yeah. It's space onions.
They're gone.
Space onions. So that's going to be that. Then on the Saturday, Sam is going to run a 4-game, 1,250 point zone mortality narrative event. What's that?
Zone mortality.
Zone.
I like that.
Zone mortality. I don't know. Can you pronounce the name of the event though?
I don't know. I'm not even looking at it.
Rihakam. I might get Sam on to talk about it. Rihakam Station. So Sam's got a station that is going to feature a ZM campaign.
Riacum state.
Riacum. Come in your ear.
Sounds like an old disused station, doesn't it?
It sounds like he's from Portsmouth, doesn't it, with all them sailors? I'm from Gosport now. I live in Gosport, not Portsmouth. I live in Southsea. Yeah, you're full of sailors. You look like a plasterer's radio. So Sam's going to run a ZM event upstairs at the Incom Gaming. And then on the Sunday upstairs, Dan is going to run a 1,500 point 4-game Centurion narrative campaign system. Now, the ambitious thing, and the thing I haven't really explained to anybody how this is going to work, all of the events will affect each other. There will be a tied narrative. This is a sector-wide conflict. So the events of the results of Giant's Grave will affect the games on Saturday. The games going through the ZM games will affect the big games, and it's all going to tie in, and that's where I'm talking. It's getting ambitious because I've kind of got the system in my head. And
is that just from a narrative perspective?
From a narrative perspective, so if the
not from a rules buff perspective,
there'll be things. So basically, this is the really crude concept, and I've not actually told Stu this or anybody, but we might as well talk about it now.
I'm only looking after the painting.
I'm working on something called an ascendancy system. So the winner. So we will start off with Giant's Grave. And it will be level. So the system is how it is. Giant's Grave will be the first volley. So the winner, which faction wins Giant's Grave, when we start on the Saturday, the advantages will be there. So might be things like, it won't be massive, but it might be like, okay, the Loyalists are in ascendancy after Giant's Grave. So in Tethra, they will be deploying first and taking the first turn without needing to roll for it. So there'll be minor effects. So what will happen is over the morning we'll play a game. So there'll be 1 game of 3,500 points frontline and 2 games of ZM on the Saturday. what happens in those two will affect the ascendancy system. So if the traitors win both of those, then the traitors will have ascendancy for the afternoon. So they will have buffs going into the afternoon in terms of how the missions are set up and how the narrative structure flows through. So there'll probably be options for missions, depending who's in ascendancy, how it goes. And at the end of the Saturday, we'll obviously know who's in ascendancy then, and we'll move into Sunday, and the same thing will apply. So at the end of it, it will be about who has ascendancy over the system. So you might lose the Loyalists might lose the Centurion, but they've dominated the two Age of Darkness events, so they'll take ascendancy. What I haven't quite worked out is exactly how that's going to work with 5 events and loads of rounds.
From a narrative point
but
of
it's
view,
a narrative.
I think that would be easy enough.
What we
It's when
want
you're
people
trying
to
do
feel
buffs across the game. Game mechanics. Might
Yeah.
That will be the challenging point.
It will affect how what missions are played and how priorities and things like that.
So is this already linked into the packs that Sam and
no, they've got no idea what they're doing yet.
The ones they've already written.
I keep telling them, don't write things. I've got to explain this all to you, and they're going to find out about this through this.
Well, now.
No, now. So
let's not tell them in the chat. Let's just wait for them to hear this.
Yeah. So
because that way they can swear on their own and then get over it before they come back in the chat.
I keep telling them not to write too much, but we're going to work this all out, and it'll all work. It'll all work out fine. We got good minds on it, good event people on it, so we'll work it out. And I'm enjoying this because at the moment I'm just throwing wild ideas at people and making people sort it out. It's great. And then on the Saturday as well, we are going to run the inaugural Geno52 Artisan Award. Not the Pork Sword, as it was known for quite a while.
That was the working title.
And it almost stuck. We are going to run a standalone painting competition. I keep describing it in terms of like a golden demon, not as in quality, prestige.
We don't know what the quality will be. I imagine it won't detract.
That kind of idea that it's a standalone thing. And this is, within the events, there will be awards for painting. So we will have our usual Hobby Hero Award and stuff for armies and things. But this is the idea behind this is a display painting competition. So this is for people to create single pieces.
If you want to come along on the Saturday and just enter the painting and hang out, you can.
So do you want to run through the categories? Because this is really your baby, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So the goal, as Tom's just said, is it's different from the other events. It's not for your painted armies. It's for you to enter single miniatures and dioramas, etc. So when I read out the categories, you'll be very familiar to anyone who's entered Golden Demon or thought about it.
Super original.
Well, they are. The ideas is taken from that. That's the kind of miniature painting thing I wanted to run, really. So there'll be a single miniature. What's miniature? That's sort of human to Ogrin sized in general. There'll be a squad. And then again, similar sizes, so human to Ogrin sized. I'll make final decisions on the day. It's not about kind of trying to exclude any particular model. We'll just make a sensible decision. And once it's in a category, it's in a category, I suppose. There'll be vehicle stroke large miniature. So that's dreadnoughts and tanks and things, but not super heavies.
One thing I should caveat. These initial ones, this is a heresy painting competition.
This is so far, yeah.
So we're going to the reason we're
I'll
using
cover that when we get to the last category.
I was going to say the reason we're using terms like not super heavies and things is because those categories of unit type should reflect what we're expecting as well.
That's right, yeah. So all of these categories so far are heresy. The diorama, which includes duels, so rather than having two separate things, if you want to do some kind of small battle scene or a large battle scene, as long as it's reasonable size, I've put no more than 12-inch square purely for space reasons.
Yeah, we haven't got all the space.
That would be that category, and then there is an open category. That includes all the large heresy-based things. If you want to bring a Titan, you want to bring your super heavy or a knight or something, you can. It would fall into that. But you could also bring non-heresy miniatures. This is the only part of the weekend, really, that's kind of focused around that. We know a lot of people, including myself, like other games or other miniatures to paint. So if you want to paint to bring along a bust or something, you can as well.
I think rather than other gaming models, it's maybe more, or at least in my mind, towards things like busts and 75mm models and 35mm, that kind of thing. Because I know I've been playing with painting busts, and it's.
From what I've written, I mean, obviously you can overrule
it. Could be,
it's anything you want.
Yeah, anything you want. But in my mind, just to say, if I was looking at that category, for me, it's about busts and things, because I know, like with Carl Paint, the Anna busts and stuff have come out. And I know a lot of heresy people have ventured into that world.
Yeah.
So it's to give people the opportunity and maybe to encourage heresy players to say, yeah, I've been looking at that 75mm model or that bus for a while. Oh, there's an excuse to get it and paint it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted people to bring cool models along.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
someone wanted to paint a Tamiya model car kit,
Yeah, cool,
and mount
great.
it as well.
Yeah, go for it.
Literally anything for
Yeah,
that open. At the end of the day, I expect it to be 90% heresy, because I imagine it's mainly heresy people.
But it's an
coming along.
opportunity.
But there could be someone who knows of us, who listens to this and thinks, I'm going to bring my heresy bits along. You know what? But I've also painted this miniature, this AOS miniature, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I want to enter that as well, because I think I'm really proud of the way it's painted. So for me, when I wrote the pack for that bit, was absolutely open to anything. Just
and
to,
this is
to
definitely
indulge
your
us.
place for your plinth-based models, and this.
They can all be based.
Yeah,
on
that's what I
plinths
mean.
on the other things,
The competition in general. You know, we are. This is the theory. We are giving awards within events for gaming models.
Yeah.
I think for me, I don't know about you, Stu. For me, this is like I said. This is for we're trying to branch out into display painting.
Yeah.
So what awards are there?
So award-wise, rather than we don't know how many people are going to enter this. It may just be people that turn up for the gaming weekend. So we didn't want to kind of go and end up ordering 20 trophies or anything like that, especially for the first year. So there's going to be commended entries, which you'll just get a little certificate. So and that's just, there's no definitive number of those. It's a bit like getting a pin, I suppose.
Anybody we feel deserves you feel deserves
absolutely.
recognition.
There won't be a first, second, third, or gold, silver, bronze for each category. Again, I don't want anyone to get a trophy by default, because there's only one of only two from a category, really. But there will be a winner for each category.
Yeah. Every category will get an overall winner.
Yeah. And then there will be a best overall, and then that will be done as gold, silver, bronze, and that's across all of the categories. Just we're not
a best in show.
We're not exactly, but we're not going to be golden demon size when there's going to be enough entries that you can afford to make gongs for each thing. I mean, we've seen even with Heresy Weekenders and things in the past where there's been some categories that haven't been
very well
represented. There might only be 5 or so entries for 3 places. So, and this has been the unknown a little bit, because we don't know how many people are just going to come along just for the gaming. We know of painters that might be interested, but I don't know how many entries we're going to have.
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, one of the ideas behind this as well is just to open up more reasons for you to come down. I mean, we really are encouraging with this weekend to. If you want to come and hang out, you want to come and drop some models in, come and see the game in, hang out. Yeah, come and hang out with us for the
come
weekend.
Talk to me about painting if you want. Even people who are maybe not entering stuff or just want some advice or chat.
Just give me
I will be upstairs in Incom, for those who know it, behind the bar. It won't be used as a bar. That's the plan.
I'm having to think about that potentially.
Oh, okay.
You'll be upstairs.
Upstairs anyway, because that's where all the good light is.
Yeah,
basically.
I might jiggle you round onto the stage, because then you've got a bit more of a set area.
If
then
there's space for it, then great.
Yeah, because I've only got to put 6 tables upstairs for the ZM.
Perfect. But I'll be upstairs with the good light anyway. That is the only corner without light, Tom.
Yeah, that's the bit I needed to check, because I couldn't remember what.
So I can see your work, and hopefully there'll be a way for you people to come up and have a look,
have a chat and hang out.
Have a look at the entries that people have put in.
And if you're thinking
well.
about coming up, Cheltenham's a lovely place. Bring your missus, go for shopping, go for a wander around, have some dinner. The awards will be at 7:00 at night.
Yeah, that's the
just because of practicalities with the rest of the event. But again, we're encouraging you to come up. Food parcels will be available. Incom's open. You're in Cheltenham Town Centre. There's lots to do with the day as well. Entry wise,
you can enter each category.
Yeah.
But only once.
Yeah, 1 entry per category per person. Entry for anybody who has a ticket to an event will be free.
Yeah.
So if you buy a ticket to an event, you get free. If you are coming in we're just going to ask you to £2 per entry, just to help us cover the costs of of producing the certificates and stuff like that. It's not a profit making thing, or it's going to be the whole event. It's just about making sure we cover our own backside. If we get,
you might want to put a maximum on that. So if someone wants to enter every single category, how many categories are there?
Well,
we'll have to discuss
what
that.
We're going to look at, and again, it's not something. If we have a significant entry, with lots and lots of people entering, lots of money raised, we will probably donate the money to charities. Something reasonable. We will make a donation to charity to support. Like I said, we're not here to make a large profit. So if we get people turning up and entering money into
But
the
we expect most people who are entering. I imagine everyone that enters will be part of another event. And if someone wants to come along and enter 1 or 2 models, then £2 to £4 isn't going to
don't be put off. If you don't want to come for the gaming and you don't want to be around for that, or you can't make it for the gaming, you can. The only other caveat is you do need to come down and enter your models yourselves. There's the usual kind of rule with that. But yeah. That's cool. I think we will roll out and take a little break then, because we've covered quite a lot of shit there. So we'll catch you in a second.
Geno52 is sponsored by Incom Gaming, the new centre for tabletop wargaming in Gloucestershire. Visit incomgaming.co.uk for great savings on pre-orders and all your hobby needs. We stock many gaming systems and hobby accessories and can ship to anywhere in the UK. Incom Gaming is the only UK stockists of the market-leading gaming mats from gamemats.eu. Visit the store and check out how to turn your tabletop into a battlefield. Incom Gaming is based in the centre of Cheltenham and offers tables and scenery for casual and organised play with a fully licensed bar. Check out our events page for upcoming events where everyone is welcome. Save an additional 10% on Games Workshop Heresy products by using the code GENO52 at the checkout. Visit incomgaming.co.uk and help fight the betrayal. Incom Gaming. Come game, shop, drink. To shop elsewhere is heresy.
Is up down? Is black white? Who knows? It's the Strump analysis.
Well, you're the god now, aren't you?
I am the god.
Aren't you? God knows God has sent you. Did you see the news today?
No, I haven't seen it today. I'm busy.
So,
God has sent me. So, yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know what role he has in the US government, but Pompeo. He said today that he thinks God may have sent Trump to save the Jews.
I haven't been sent to save the Jews. I've been sent to save the heresy.
Oh, it's interesting.
Trump is here to save the heresy.
Politics is the new light entertainment in the modern world. Anyway,
enough of that. It's FAQ time.
It is.
We sort of briefly covered the FAQ when it came out originally. I have been through the new FAQ. I have also got actual real-world data and real-world experience and stuff. So we thought we'd just have a flick through the FAQ. I'm not going to go through every line of every detail. We're going to go through the new version 1.1 changes and just have a look. So a lot of it I'll skim over because a lot of it is clarifications, really. So we'll start blasting through some stuff. So the first new magenta section is just to the feel no pain to add another line to it, which basically says you can't take it against destroyer attacks or instant death wounds. Anybody who's been playing for more than 10 minutes will go, yeah, that's how we've always played it. I have never met anybody that's gone, oh, it's not a save, so I can have feel no... No, you don't get feel no pain. But it's good, it's there, it's clear.
And then there's new people coming into the game.
Yeah, we're not bollocks
so
to new
you
people.
want to make
Bollocks
sure
to
it's
new
clear.
people. They should have been playing 30 years. Then we have some clarifications to Legion command squads about Terminator armor, making sure they're all in the same Terminator armor. Yeah, they've all got to take the same Terminator armor. They've all got to be in Terminator armor. So if your Praetor's in Terminator armor, they've got to be in Terminator armor. If your command squad's in Terminator armor, your Praetor has to be in Terminator armor.
This is just the clarification, because that was the case anyway, wasn't it?
It is, but it's just making it plain.
I was thinking
that's
what I thought it was before.
So we come to the first big change, and this has caused some tears.
I'm glad I haven't bought one.
Yeah, so am I. Legion Malcador Assault Tank. Under the heading Unit Type, amend the text that reads Vehicle, parenthesis, super heavy, close parenthesis. Instead to read Vehicle, parenthesis, tank, parenthesis. I agree they shouldn't be super heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cheap way of getting super heavy tanks on the table, because the jump to super heavy, getting rid of vehicle damage tables and stuff, is powerful. Moving 12, firing everything is powerful. However, the Malcador, it basically bollockses up the battle cannon, demolisher cannon one, which is the common variant.
Yeah.
Because now the ordnance one, you fire one, you can't snap shoot the other one. So it does hit that.
Did it need an extra rule in there to make that work?
It could do with the machine spirit. Mm-hmm. Just give it machine spirit.
Yeah.
And but even that, it would still need a cut-in points. You do pay a price for it. I can't remember who made the good point. I think it was Mark on Age of Darkness. They're not very heavily armoured, and the profile of the model means the side armour is very big on it.
Long and thin.
So it's very easy to get around the side and get. I think it's armour 12 at the side. So that's quite an expensive tank that can be sort of detonated by light armour killers. So Yes, I agree. I'm actually in favour of it not being super heavy, because being dual Thunder Blitz by Malcadors is
That didn't
not
make
fun.
sense either.
But it needs that profile, the unit profile, needs some further tweaking, and
And that might be something we see.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the militia players, particularly,
Maybe the molds are shot anyway, and they haven't.
They probably sold all the fuckers since they got it was the Red Book they got changed. I think it was the Red Books they got changed. I'm fucking sold out of them. Augury Scanner's got a little rebalance, which is good. The long and the short of it now is it's limited to 18 again. So what happened? We used to have this weird rule that you could intercept the end of the enemy shooting. Didn't make sense. Basically, you had an 18-inch intercept with a certain type of weapon. Then the last FAQ basically gave interceptor to all weapons at the full range of the weapon. So you had 45-inch Volkite Colvin intercepts, which is just basically fucked over everything. They've now basically everything still gets interceptor. It's still clean like that, but they've limited it to within 18 inches. So they've brought that threat bubble back. So which is great, because I was talking with Tom and we were basically just like Dreadclaws and Charybdises are useless now, because they're just going to get happy. Yeah, one squad of missile launchers sat in the corner with an augury scanner. That's just done. That's done it. So you can now do your Dreadclaw trick of dropping in more than 18 inches away and turbo boosting in.
Yeah.
So you've got they've sort of balanced
somewhere in the
that.
middle. And I like the really positive thing for me is that it wasn't that long ago we had the change, and they've now gone, hang on a minute,
We made a
pretty
drop
much
there.
the whole community was pretty noisy about. Ooh, that's a bit. Maybe
That's tasty.
Maybe that's a bit too
Especially
good.
when you play Mechanicum and they've got fucking augury scanners everywhere.
And it's been addressed really quickly.
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
gives us all a lot of confidence for the future.
They've listened, they've rebalanced, and it's great. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That's really good. And then we get into some interesting things. We get into the Age of Darkness Legion Astartes list. Clarification to Tyrant Siege Terminators that they can fire their combi bolters and their cyclone missile launchers together. You got a 24-inch bolt gun and a 48-inch missile launcher. If you're firing crack missiles at stuff, are you firing bolters at them? Yes, it's great they can do it definitely now. I don't think it's a massive game changer for them, but it's cool. They got it.
It's more likely that you're going to be firing at, I don't know, an infantry squad or something. And you're hoping to pick the last one off you didn't kill with your bolter rounds, rather than this is where I'm aiming my bolters, and guess what?
But it's good. It's good.
Well, you just wire up the trigger to the same thing, don't you?
Yeah. Just keep pulling that trigger. Tubby Turbo got another tweak just to tidy up. Him and Dawn both got the same thing. Tidy up teleport homer to teleport transponder. Just so we're
just aligning terminology.
So terminology works across. So that's good. The Night Lord's Talent for Murder got just an extra line in it, capping the maximum to hit and wound at 2+. I think, again, it's one of the things I think most people would play it that way, but it's now there, clean, no more arguments, no more, oh, well, it doesn't say I can't hit on a 1+. No, fuck off, mate. One's always fail. So that's good. Angron got some love and attention. He now has Furious Charge and the Feel No Pain special rule. So Furious Charge is big, giving him another strength, and he's now I'm going to come back. He's now got proper Feel No Pain, and with the change to the Narthesium saying you can't just bung a 50-point apothecary in to get your primer.
To be very glass cannon before that,
he's not overly powered, but he's now got an advantage over other primates. He's got that 5+ Feel No Pain built in now, so he's got a better Feel No Pain. And he's not an advantage. It's something not all primates
the character in being almost primal and shrugging off wounds that someone else might kind of fall to.
Narratively, it works. Game wise, it
doesn't
works.
Feel wrong.
You can't. You're not going to get Russ or Sanguinius with a little apothecary running around patching him up, which makes sense with the Narthesium. And it means Angron's got something,
and it helps that the potential power creep that you get with maybe later Primarchs being slightly more powerful than the earlier.
But it just pulls Angron back in a little bit, which is great. Good to see Furious Ron on the table. Again, Gilliman reinforced as the most important Primarch in the Heresy, because he now gives away an additional victory point.
He was too good.
He gives up 4 victory points if you kill him now.
Yeah.
2 for Price of Failure, 1 for Slay the Warlord generally, and 1 now for Rigid Chain. So they dropped the Rigid Chain of Command, because Rigid Chain of Command kicks in when you lose your HQs. And obviously running Guilliman as a Lord of War, he's not an HQ. So now if you put Guilliman into the army in any form, you drop rigid chain of command, which is a pinning test if you lose all your and a VP if you lose all your HQs, to making it him. So if you've got 3 HQs and Guilliman, if you lose Guilliman and still got your 3 HQs, you still give up the rigid chain of command, which makes sense. He's important, and 4 VPs for killing him. He's got to be the most important Primarch.
Well, we've already discussed how important he is.
Exactly, I've proved it
for 40k universe.
Even Forge would agree with me. Guilliman is the most important Primarch in the Heresy, and the most important Primarch. He's the most important Primarch for the whole 10,000 years of the universe. I don't care. I'm going to get you. Can come at me in my Facebook groups and tell me differently, but you're wrong.
Respect someone that loves the grandparents.
Loves the grandparents. Loves them. I've been listening to a lot of Ted Bundy tapes lately. I've been listening to lots of serial killer. I've got quite a very... Did I tell you the other day I spent an hour listening to Fritzl's Sex Dungeon podcast?
Is that the podcast, or is that the one from the left podcast?
The last one on the left podcast is possibly the greatest thing.
I've listened to a couple.
Sam's well into
I like listening from the beginning, and there's the 350, so that kind of puts me off a little bit.
Just go back and do what I did. Pick topics.
Even iTunes, you can only get back to it like 150.
I can get back to 30.
No, it wasn't loading the other day on my phone.
Yeah, but because you've got to go right back, because you've got to find episode about 30 or 40, which is Ghost, Alien, or Molested, which is basically Yahoo Answers going through people saying, I think I was molested by an alien, which basically, when you read the story, it's, no, you were molested by your uncle. It's fucking brilliant. Demon Hunters. The Demon Hunter episode is amazing, because it's basically mental people on the internet.
I just listened to one about gang stalking.
Yeah. BTK is brilliant as well. He's funny.
I need to catch up on this.
Demon Hunter's the best thing I've heard for a long time. They were telling this story. There's this guy it's like, it's this demon hunter, and he's like, I've got this girlfriend, and she was possessed by a demon, and I ripped the demon out of her with my Aether claws. It's like nerds in the basement writing fantasy stories about stuff, and it's pretty funny because this guy is clearly like living some anime fantasy, which is brilliant and fair play. But what's brilliant is they started. It was put across as this guy was an actual demon hunter. So these guys were doing this podcast to do their research. So they start going on the other forums looking for mentions of this specific guy. And they keep finding these stories from other people writing, have you heard about this guy? He sounds amazing. He sounds like a real deal. He's such a demon hunter. And what they realised as they went through it and started looking at it, it's that guy writing from different accounts about himself. Fucking brilliant!
I'm looking forward to releasing
last podcast. I've just gone back and I've picked a load. What did I listen to the other day? Japanese war crimes. That's harrowing.
Oh, definitely. What else? While we're on there, we've completely sidetracked the FAQ conversation. There's a Ron Burgundy podcast, which is new and new.
Yeah, I need to listen to that.
And it's if you like Anchorman, it's Anchorman the film quality, not Anchorman 2 quality. It's actually good still. It's really, really good. So, give that a listen to. Mr. David Saunders put me on to that one. Mm-hmm. But, should we get back to the FAQ?
Yeah.
Why not?
I've been on a real serial killer, weird fancy. Oh, what was it? Spectrophilia. Fucking ghosts. Being fucked by ghosts. That's all I do.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
Cool.
I'm not, my mind is... I walked around the park I walked around the park the other day, and I'm listening to. I think I was listening.
You're not acting this out.
I was listening to Spectrophilia. So I'm going around. I'm listening to these guys. They're all professional comedians again.
You're not thrusting naked into a field, are you?
No, but I'm walking around with a dog, and I'm listening to these vile things in this Spectrophilia, and I'm going morning to these other dog walkers, thinking, if you knew what I was listening to now, you'd be appalled. Anyway,
I seem to be on the news.
So yeah, Gilliman's into Spectrophilia. And Death Guard Legion Power Side's got a tweak. I think all that is basically if you pay for a Power Fist on your character, you don't then then upgrade that to a Power Side at no additional cost. So basically, a Power Side costs what a Power Fist does.
Okay.
Because you get a Power Fist and then you replace it for free with a Power Side.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, Justine. Zardu Layak, the rock and roll band leader of the Heresy. I'm not quite sure what was the tweet, but he can only generate powers from pyromancy or demonology malefic now. So they clarified what he can generate psychic powers from, which is good. And the Blade Slaves got chosen warriors, which is cool because they can now step in and take. That's quite a handy little trick to keep keep people out in combats. Salamander's got a little tweak. Basically stop them getting sweeping advance constantly, even when they win combats. It just clarified you only lose one to your initiative sweeping advances, -1 to your sweeping advance roll when you win combat.
Right, yeah.
Because we just said you lose -1. So if you won the combat, you were like almost buggered trying to sweep people. Now you only lose it. Yeah, it just clarifies.
Works
them.
thematically now, so they can kill people when they should be, but
they're not quite so good at running them into the ground.
Yeah.
What else? Then we got some units. Mordathan got Implacable Advance, which is great. That brings him into line with other Legion Elite units. Gives them scoring. Headhunters got Implacable Advance, and they got Preferred Enemy Infantry, which really is a big boost.
Yeah, we've talked. We did a whole show, didn't we? That's kind of based around them not being as good as
other things. So
yeah.
So that
Seekers,
really, I think that's really brought them into line now, and they can take a Dreadclaw or a Rhino, so that's quite handy as well. A little bit of transport options. Crusade Imperialis tanks, Malcadors and Valdor tank hunters lose super heavy. That's big. Now, we talked about Malcadors.
Well, this is the
same issue with the Valdors.
They keep fast, don't they?
They keep fast. Yeah, they keep fast. But the Malcador Infernus probably could do with weakening a little bit because it was lethal. The Valdor tank hunter, which we never saw anyway.
It was already shit.
You're just never going to see
shit. Sorry, that's
it's a one-shot tank hitting on 4s that's going to get one-shotted now.
If you've ever used a Venator in a Legion army,
it's like
and then you're using a Solar or your Imperial army, and you pick that, you're just thinking, oh, what's the point? This is
you didn't see him anyway.
BS3.
Yeah, you're just not going to see him now. This is a real shame because we want more units viable on the table.
I mean, overall, the FAQ's done that. It's just been that chassis really.
The chassis need tweaking in other places. If you make them a lot cheaper, you might see them because all right, they're not great, but if I get 2 on the table now for the price of 1, I'll take my chances with them. But the Malcadors and the Valdors need looking at now.
Yeah, the Valdor almost needs another weapon now, and then Machine Spirit, and then it becomes an option, doesn't it? Kind of, but that's doing more than just the rules. That's kind of
that profile needs looking at. Then we go into the Martian Master Race, the mech. The Domitar's got a good tweak. They now have a Haywire Flamer template and Haywire Overwatch. So if you play Mechanicum and you play with big robots, you know the one thing you are fucking terrified of is Dreadnoughts. Because Dreadnoughts come along at strength 10, bop you on the head, and take away your feel no pains, and take away your multi-wounds. So my Ursarax, they're lethal against infantry. You run them into a Dreadnought, it hits you 3 times, it wounds you 3 times, it kills 3 outright. So it gets round all your bonuses. So, you want to charge my Domitars now? Yeah, take D3 Haywire hits to your face. I've got 2 of them, 2 D3 Haywires to your face. So, the Domitar's got a big buff. Now, interestingly, while we're talking Domitars, the new Warmonger console can deep strike a unit. If you are an Iron Warrior, you can take a Cybernetica Cortex and take your Domitar, you can take your Iron Circle, and you can give them deep strikes. So what have we been talking about with Iron Circle for ages? Oh, okay, if you could deep strike something, you can fucking... Because I was like, no, you can't do that. It's bullshit. And I was like, no, the Iron Warriors have got the ability to join the monstrous creatures with being Iron Circle. Okay. And it just says he gives his unit. You are going to see Warmonger consoles and Iron Circles deep striking in. And I, for one, am fully endorsing that. I think that's fucking brilliant. But yeah, so yeah, the Domitars got a little buff because you don't see a lot of them at the moment. They're a bit untidy. Their rules are a bit untidy. They just got tidied up and a little bit better. The hammers got better. There was a change then to Black Shields. Black Shields got a tweak. They're now distrusted allies with them. They used to be fellow warriors. And they're now distrusted allies, which is quite a change in terms of what you can and can't do with them. There is one right wrought by war. Yeah, so wrought by war for them, isn't it? That affects. That has. I think if you take the Chimera when you're distrusted anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it just brings it all into line now. You're distrusted anyway.
I think it makes sense actually.
Yeah.
Thinking about it because
You're not a fellow warrior.
narratively would legions? They're so rigid. Most of the legions, one way or another, would they deal
with people who've walked away
they are
from the
renegades?
Legion.
Essentially, they are traitors. Whether they're traitors and
they're considered traitors by
joining
both
a
sides.
chaotic power. Yeah, exactly. So
Because they're not on either side.
So maybe in certain conflicts, you'd
they'd be used.
You'd use them, but you
wouldn't
not
trust them.
trust them. No, I like that actually.
Yeah, that
narratively makes sense. I think most people that are running them run them on their own. I don't think it's going to affect. It's not like the effect with the Malcadors that we've seen, where people are looking at their collections going, "Fuck, I've got three of
that's
those."
bollocks. My
I
army,
painted quite a few for Freddie, so I imagine he was looking at that going, "Oh my god!" But I can imagine there's players out there with lots of them.
Yeah,
because it's such a cool model. I don't think that rule's going to affect anyone.
Garland Surlax Narthesium got tidied up, so it's in line with the other Narthesiums now that it can't be used against instant death.
Yeah,
can only be used on models with the Legion Astartes rule. So you can't stick Garland Surlac, because Garland Surlac rule is the Narthesium Primus was under the old style rule where it just said it conferred to the unit. Yes. They've tidied that up now, so you can't stick Garland Surlac in with Dangron and get a buff to him as well. So that's good. Shadrach Minjuson, his special rule is only when he's part of the Shattered Legions. It's a shame because it limits when we'll see him, but it does make more sense. It does make more sense narratively, so that's cool. Then we get into Inferno, so the second revision of Inferno. Basically, Sekhmet Terminator's got some clarifications on some weapon options, some power fists and some chain fists and stuff. I think that brings them just into line with other Terminator units, so that's good. And then we had a big change. Magnus the Red's profile has been completely changed. He has... His rules, the big change for me is they have now added in the unrestrained might of the Crimson King. So Mindwrath was basically one of Magnus's big problems. Strength D, Nova shots at everything was the thing that was
the
pissing
thing
people
you
off.
heard everywhere, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was. He would drop in. I think, like Mark was saying on the Age of Darkness, he would drop in and he could roll up 1,500 points of a flank in one go. And it was just like, oh, well, that's done. I got a 3,000 point army taken apart by Magnus de-smiting things and de-novering things. And it is completely one-sided. So now you have to pay an additional 175 points to get Mindwrath. Yeah. So that bumps him up to 570 points. So he's the most expensive Primarch when he's unrestrained. And the Mindwrath has been limited to Strength 10. Now... D6 Strength 10 smite shots is still pretty fucking good, but it's not D. Now, I've had arguments about Strength 10 maybe being better than Strength D, but at least with Strength 10 you're getting invulnerable saves and things. It's a bargain. I don't think it's something. I think the bigger change is the 175 points. It now means people will think about it. It's not, I'll just take Magnus and D-Nova bomb everything. It's, if I'm going to do that, it's 570 points. And it's like, he's still, without it, a nightmare. He's still got his -1 and -2 to hits.
Yeah.
He's still got his fucking mastery level 1,000,000. And, he's still not, he's still generating warp charge on a 3+. He's still got his bloody 2+, 4+. He's still pretty damn tough,
and he needs to be.
Yeah,
but
it's
just softened the thing that most people hated about.
It's just taken that one-dimensional unfun thing out, which is good. We then get onto the Wolves. I know something Pete was definitely happy about. It's been clarified Apothecaries can join units with Warrior's Metal and they gain Warrior's Metal, which is great because now your Grayslayers can get Feel No Pain without losing all the extra stuff, which is just not game-breaking, but it really helps when you're running Space Wolves and you want to run those 20-man Greyslayer packs. You've got them on foot, you've got them out on the table. It just helps keep them in the game. So that's great. I know Pete's built three Apothecaries in the last week or so, hasn't he? So that's good.
I think he's just been building and building and building for the episode on Instagram as another.
Yeah, he's just built more and more units. And then we come to what I consider a personal attack of my bride. I'm not that I take anything personally, but the Strump tax has been applied to the Acasta Sniper Fireon. It has gone up 65 points. I'll be perfectly honest. Yeah, it definitely needed that.
Yeah.
it rules it out from being played at 2K now. You won't see it at 2K, which is
really good.
insane. If any, I mean, even for Strumpf, I would not turn up with it at 2K. It is a nightmare. Apart from that, it hasn't had any changes, so it's still loads of strength. 10 pie plates, loads of tough as nails, 8 hull points. It's no slouch, but I think at 560 points, it's probably about right. And the interesting thing when we're discussing with people is actually that going up in points probably also is an argument for the Warhound coming down in points. They're not, in terms of offensive output and the things that those two models can do, the Pafaro needed to come up.
190 points difference?
Yeah, there's still, Warhound 750.
Yeah.
So 560, it's still a considerable chunk more. I think you could quite easily drop the Warhound 100 points. And it would still be.
The Warhound needs to be adjusted in points so that depending on what weapons you take, the points vary as well, because there's a massive difference in that.
Oh god, yeah. I think
and like we talked about before, those rules were written in a different time.
They're legacy rules.
But yes, absolutely.
Now
these rules are written with this weapon's more powerful, you pay more points for it. Back then, it was just kind of you're lucky to get it on the table kind of thing. It's a big APOC game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're playing with other things that will go. I think now with Age of Darkness being its own rule set as well, there's a lot more argument for making the Warhounds and stuff, the Titans, suit heresy games more. They're not trying to make those point systems work between 40 and 30k.
Yeah.
40k is completely separate now. It works in a totally
maybe they'll
different
get around to it. They've obviously got a lot on their plate.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if we'll see it.
And it's not something that's talked about
I'd
a lot.
love to see
it
a
feels like
Warhammer.
they've addressed a lot of things that the community has talked about, which shows how we
But
know
what
that
we're going to do now is
they got their sort of they know what they're doing. They're keeping an eye on the community, what the community is saying. People aren't talking about Warhounds.
But what's going to happen now with the community is we'll play with this rule set for 6 to 12 months. We'll explore it.
Yeah.
And then we'll start talking about other things because we want to keep evolving and moving on. So I think the Warhound. I'd love to see more Warhounds on the table.
Thing. Yeah.
Right. FAQ. Frequently asked questions. What is meant when the rule states you must be within a given range of an ability or an effect to benefit from this effect? Is this different to when you must be within an area that constitutes an objective? Yeah, it's just tidying up how you play. Yes, if you're scoring an if you're in, you need to be within it to get the effect, and if you're scoring, you've got to be wholly within it. Yeah, fine, cool. I'm not going to go through
I think they've always been quite straightforward. A lot of game systems use the within or totally or wholly within.
Yeah, wholly within. If a vehicle has a weapon described as one use and then suffers a weapon destroyed, can this one-use weapon be destroyed? Somebody tried that on me. They'd fired a hunter killer, and then, I'm going to blow it up. You go, fuck off, mate. Take your toys off the table. Yeah, basically, if you've shot a one-use weapon, it can't then be destroyed. It's gone. It's been
not
used.
there anymore.
Yeah, it's been used. So, that's a thing. They clarified what dreadnoughts can take drop pods, which is cool. So we've got some named characters. So, Rylanor the Unyielding, Honoured Telemachus, and Standard Cassian Dracos can take it. The other line is quite cool. Note that these special characters may also embark on super heavy transports, that can otherwise transport Legion Contempt to dreadnoughts. So that's a nice clarification that they can go in the Mastodon, basically.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the Thunderhawk needs an update because that can only take Legion box treads.
Oh, they probably missed
because it's legacy rules again. Mm-hmm. But that just needs the Thunderhawk rules updating to say Contemptor or Legion box tread.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think you want a Leviathan in the back of a fucking Thunderhawk, but the Thunderhawk, it's an interesting thing.
Well, they need to have a discussion rules-wise of whether it would fit, and if it did, and then you make a decision where it'll go.
I think the Thunderhawk just needs a bit of update. No, interestingly though, because they can take Legion drop pods, Dreadnought drop pods, the Marigal and Cassian Dracos can't. The Marigal makes sense. It's a fucking demon.
I like the fact that they can't, because it stops people going, have they forgotten them again?
No,
there's a fluff reason why they can't.
And Cassian Dracos Reborn is too mental to be put in a box.
Yes.
It's great. It's great.
I like that.
Take a Legion. Yeah, it's cool. So that's great, because that's definitely a question that's been kicking around for a while, and it makes sense. We got clarification on that. I actually looked at Ancient Honoured Telemachus because I was like, oh, cool, that's an interesting choice to put him in there. Now I'm still trying to work out if he's worth the extra 250, extra 65 points on top of a normal Contemptor. He does give some good things because he gives you +1 to your combat res and stuff. So he could, I think, in the right place he can. But Sevatar got a big buff Sevatar got a big buff. I know lots of Night Lord players who went, ooh, there's a character and everything, because he gains both the Master of Ambush rules now, his own personal Master of Ambush and and the Warlord trait from the book, which basically means you can give 3 units outflank, give some infiltrate, which confers outflank, and his rule means that anything outflanking gets acute senses, so you can re-roll your outflank. So you've got 3 units with acute senses and outflank, which is really fucking handy. And the option to infiltrate.
It's a nice model. It'd be nice to see some.
It makes him more versatile. Okay, he could probably still do with 2-up armor and stuff like that. But now you might be thinking, yeah, that's quite cool. You could build something off that. That's quite powerful to be able to give him acute senses as well. So cool. Mm-hmm. That ends the FAQ in errata, and we move into something new, which is very exciting. Playtest rules. I think this is an excellent idea, because what happened when the last FAQ came out? Instantly, however many hundreds and thousands of heresy gamers got it and went, oh, what about this combination, this combination, this combination? That Anuj and Neil simply don't have the time to think of all these crazy combinations.
Yeah.
So these big changes now, to punt them out and say, right, here you go, have a play with these, see what you break.
Well, some of these are things that, when we talked about this in the last FAQ, are things that we probably wouldn't hope to see before they got round to releasing updated red books. And rather than have us wait for
ages,
2, 3, 4 years or something until they've got them out, this means that we can, maybe some of those units and things that don't get to see any play, we'll get some.
But with the caveat that these are playtest rules and can be rescinded and changed.
Keep an eye on what's going on.
So the big one, quad mortars at the start. The shatter shells, everything that stayed the same except for phosphex and frags, which went from 4-shot small blast to 1-shot twin linked big blast. Great.
Yes.
Dropping 3 large blast templates from a battery is so much better than 12. And I think Tom did the maths, because that's what he's like. The radius of a 5-inch template is a little bit bigger than 4 small blasts.
Okay.
So in theory, you're actually getting more. You're covering a bigger area.
Games mechanic-wise, it's brilliant.
Games mechanics-wise, brilliant. It's not
flipping templates, just
and being twin-linked.
Game mechanic, really is.
And being twin-linked means it's going to hit.
Yeah.
You're guaranteeing it. So you're getting a buff as well. You're saying, right, I am going to hit. And you're not putting something silly like 40 wounds on a unit that's going to take you 20 minutes to calculate. You're just getting a reasonable battery on it.
It's quite a negative play experience when people you're flipping, and again, you go adding these up, and you're just adding up the wounds thinking, oh, these are fun.
Yeah.
And this just makes
and
it
phosphex as well, the same. 1 template.
Yeah.
And that's always going to hit. It's twin link with crawling death. You're going to get your wounds in, but it's three templates. I think now, if somebody turns up with 3 of them, people aren't going to go, oh, fuck's sake. People are going to go, okay, you've taken, that's a good choice, but it's not negative anymore. So I'm really cheered for that. Legion Moritat. The chain fire is now on its 5th variation. It's really good. You basically shoot with 6 times with each gun. Mm-hmm. So if you take the Volkites, you can roll 6 dice for each gun, and away you go. You're hitting on 2s. Plasma, you still do need to roll 1 at a time, but you're only overheating on 1 instead of 1 and 2, and that makes a huge difference. I talked about the difference between Jack's Plasma Moritats and mine when we played. Like they were lethal. They were just eating squads because they could actually get 8, 9, 10 shots off in a round. And not melt themselves. So that was really, really good. They've extended now the overheat rule to Inferno pistols as well. Yeah. So they do overheat on 1s as well, which is great, because I think I was listening to JP and Mars this Inferno Moritat. He was like, yeah, 1 in every 10 games he'll win me the game, because he landed in the side of JP's his Lupico super heavy tank and just melted it single-handedly, and he was like, fuck. But it does just tweak that a little bit, so that's really good. The Herald got Fearless, which is fantastic. Suddenly now there's a huge reason to dump him in the squad, and he's got Implacable Advance for his scoring as well, and you can stick him in Terminator armor now.
I've been using a Herald, haven't I? So.
And now that squad is Fearless as well, which is huge, and he's scoring on his own, and now you can make a Terminator Herald as well.
Yes.
No jump pack Herald. There's still a lot of debate about that.
Well, jump pack with a big flag.
You don't have to have a big flag. You have a big metal pole. So
even then, that's you get that landed wrong.
Yeah, it still could be quite painful. But it's cool. I think for certain legions, it's very cool. Jump pack Herald for Blood Angels would make sense. Yeah, they can see it both ways. Kind of everything. Legion Praevian console. All the Legion inductee rules got rewritten. I'm not going to go through them all because there's 18 of them.
The whole page of the FAQ, wouldn't you?
But it's really good. There are some that are better than others. White Scars with swift action, so hit and run and things like that on your friggin' Vorax, hit and run Vorax and stuff. That is mental. Dark Angel's got Monster Hunter, so your robots are better at hitting them. What else did I think? Word Bearers. Vorax with Hatred Everything. Holy shit. Word Bearers players, go and buy Vorax. Strength Rotor Cannons with Hatred Everything. Strength 7 AP2 Power Blades with Hatred Everything. On Demon Possessed. Oh, fuck, that's so cool.
Yeah, some they're all thematic and some
they're brilliant.
Naturally,
the Ultramarines one, the Ultra. So when I say some are not as good as others, Ultramarines, if they stand still, they snap shoot at BS2.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones. It's the same problem with the Logos Lectora. You're usually in a bad position now. Yeah, okay. If I've got Darkflower Castellax, my personal favourites.
Yeah.
If I'm snap shooting at planes, cool. All right, I'm hitting on 5s and 6s. They're a little bit better compared to having Hatred Everything.
Yeah, it doesn't compare.
It's not quite.
It doesn't compare.
But it's still not bad.
I prefer. The
bear in mind,
does seem a little bit.
You've still got the option to give them Furious Charge, Tank Hunter, or Scout
what have I
as
got
well.
with this? Tank Hunters and +1 BS when you're using bolt gun. Okay,
Mauler bolt cannons are hitting on
fits in with
2s.
the Legion rules quite
Yeah,
nicely.
Mauler bolt cannons hitting on 2s, AP3. That's pretty fucking handy. Bolt gun pack Castellax. But you can still give them Furious Charge, Tank Hunter, and Scout. So I could have Tank Hunting.
Tank Hunter's going to be the
Tank Hunter. So they're really good. I think we're going to see more Praevians. Oh, can you imagine Legion Praevian with a load of robots? The Dreadnought Herder console now with his Dreadnought cattle prod.
These are cool.
There's going to be some
cool things that people
there's some really funky
can
looking
have
armies
something different to their armies. And I mean, they won't be different by the end of the year because everyone will do it. And people that haven't got a few robots in their army will be going,
fucking robots everywhere.
It's all good. It's all positive.
Then we got what everybody's been crying out for years. Destroyers got a real rework in, and they are in Centurion, grade A, top tier. In big games, viable, totally viable. Mm-hmm. So they got a 35-point reduction off the top of the units. They're 115 points for the units. They're 5 points less for each additional Marine now, which is big. So that's 25 points off a full squad as well. So what's that? You're looking at 60 odd points off a squad of 10 now.
I imagine most people are taking 10, aren't they? Not
Jump packs have come down to five a model now. So they're
what was it before? Was it one of
75
those
points flat?
For the
whether you took 5 or 10.
I never liked those because when you upgrade the number in the squad as well, it just doesn't make sense.
But no, so you're thinking a squad of 10. You're 50 points for jump packs. So you're 25 points off for jump packs. So, you're 60 points up. You're then another 50 points up for jump packs. Interestingly, they took the Volkite Spencers away, so you now can't swap for a Volkite like anybody did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the missile launcher, the hand flamer, and the plasma pistol all dropped 5 points. So the options got cheaper. They got hardened armor as well. So re-rolling armor saves against blast, which is really handy. So yeah, they genuinely are in Centurion now. Really good, and I think we're going to see a lot of destroyers this year. Palatine Blades for those perverts that play them. Yeah, they got a tweak. I think the big tweak for them was the option to give every Palatine warrior 2-up armor now for 10 points each. 10 points each. So that's pretty tasty. So they've all got 2-up armor now. So that's pretty damn good, I think. Not maybe the biggest thing. Oh, jump packs came down 5 points a piece as well. So they're a bit cheaper as well. So they got a really good one. Maybe not as big a change as the others, but that's still a good, nice little tweak for them.
Yeah.
Palatine, Phalanx Warder Squads. I know this quite excited a lot of Fist players. I think you and
Well, yeah, I really couldn't work out how to make them work before.
Yeah, but now they've dropped 65 points off the base unit.
They have, yeah.
They've dropped 3 points off an additional model. Power axes have gone down 5 points a model.
Which is what most people will be taking.
Yeah, that's what you're taking with them. Some various war gear got tweaked here and there.
They got counter-attack now.
They got counter-attack, which is big.
Makes all the difference.
So we were talking before, and I was saying counter-attack and boarding shields means you're always going to be hitting more times, you're always going to have more attacks than an equal unit. Because
so when you charge now, you're getting your extra weapon skill and you're getting your extra attacks, aren't you? So
they're dropping. Your opponent's dropping their extra attack for charging, so you're benefiting from them charging. And if you charge them, you got your extra attack.
Yeah,
So they're generally always hitting more. So they've had a great one because shield wall got tweaked. So it's at least 3 models now. So if you take a unit of 5, as soon as it used to be, if you had to have 5, so if you lost one, you instantly lost your shield wall. Now you can take 2 casualties, and if you're running a bigger squad, so yeah, the Phalanx Warders, I think we'll see them about. They were really good.
They're lovely models as well, and it's models that people were using just as breaches or just So I think
the classic. A lot of people going, I love the models, but they really suck on the table. It's disappointing. I think for a lot of people, it's like you get a unit like that. You're Legion specific. Beautiful models, you invest a lot of time and effort in, and they disappoint on the table. You think, oh.
But that was at the level where I think you got 2 kinds of disappointment. You got disappointment when you have a specialist unit that doesn't match up with the specialist units from other legions, but then you got a specialist unit that doesn't only match up, but is actually worse than a standard unit that's equipped effectively the same way.
Yeah.
So you got that with headhunters, and then you go, well, we'll just take seekers.
And
then this was the same way. You just take breaches.
Yeah.
So
now they have a place.
At some point this year, I will pick up a squad of 10 and paint them. Get them ready. Whereas before, I'd always thought maybe I'll wait till they change. So well, fantastic.
Then Medusa Immortals, which to be fair, when used right, were not bad. You take them with Company Bitter Iron and give them Hatred, that's brilliant. So now they got a 45 points drop off the cost of the unit, which is brilliant. The Volkite Chargers came down 3 points apiece, because let's face it, 10 Volkites is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Plasma Pistol got dropped as well, 5 points, which was quite good. And the big one is the Gun Them Down rule got changed. So Gun Them Down used to be, you could choose to not sweep in advance and fire your guns, snap shoot your guns at them.
Yeah.
So it was like, Well, now you can't sweep in advance flat out, but you make your shooting attack at full ballistic skill. And if you've got flamers, it's D3, like Wall of Death. So now, if you don't kill them, they take 10 Volkites in the back. That's going to do some fucking damage to stuff. So it's cool. And it makes thematic sense. They're not charging in headlong. They're just advancing up and firing and killing and massacring. So, yeah, you combine that with... Is it Hatred? Or is it... yeah, I'm sure it's Hatred, or I can't remember. But you get a bonus to them when running a Company of Iron. That's great. And then we come to the Wacken Circle. We proved last summer that Ashen Circle are not that bad when you run 30 of the fuckers in ZM. Didn't you, Callum?
It's about volume, isn't it?
Volume.
Yeah.
So, which man in this country now owns a more Ashen Circle than Forge World? The nicest man in Heresy. And what happened? They got dropped 30 points to the unit, which is fucking great. They go 5 points down on each additional model. The Plasma Pistols dropped 5. They can now be joined, which is really big. They can be joined by Moritats or Chaplains, because they used to not be able to join by any model. So you throw a Chaplain in that squad now as well to give them Fearless and Zealot, to give them Zealot. And the Axe Rate being AP3 now, that is a nasty unit, which is great because they are some of the most beautiful looking models on the
I agree.
In the Heresy. They are now brilliant, and
I think Callum's got 30 painted. Then,
he's got 30 of the books. He keeps turning up at events going, "Yeah, I haven't bothered to rewrite my list because I'm so." He was like, I think at W12. He was about 100. He was about 120 points down. He realised he was like, I'm 120 points down, and he was not losing with his 20 Ashen Circle. He was still hammering around with. So yeah, Axe Rate's now AP3. They tweaked the grapple rules. You get +1 on your sweep and advance rule rather than your opponent having a -1 penalty. I'm not quite... mathematically, someone will probably educate me that works better, but yeah, they now get a plus... So when you roll for sweep and advance, you've got a +1, basically.
I'm just trying to work out what's different now. Like the same way as you, I was trying to work out
I couldn't quite get my head around it, but I had read through 45 pages of FAQ at that point. But yeah, it's good. Ashen Circle now, there are a lot... Those playtest rules... remove some negative play experiences. They bring some units that we don't see a lot into the game, but don't make you go, oh fucking hell, they're insane. They just go, oh cool, they work now. And I think the term viable on the table, viable is what people are talking. Destroyers are viable. Ashen Circle are viable. Phalanx Warders, they all have a place now.
Things
in an
we've been
army.
asking for, isn't it? And it's really, really positive to see. Not just when I say we, not just me and you, as in the community. Things that the community has largely agreed on. That yes, they're too expensive. They need a buff here. They never seen the table because. And I think yes, we mentioned a couple of things that me think maybe we've gone too far, but we don't know until these things have been play tested. And we've already seen with the augury scanner that they're willing to listen. Oh, actually, we've gone too far. We'll change that back. So who knows? We might get another FAQ 6 months' time once book 8's settled in and people have been playing with it. And there might be a couple of these things that are adjusted again. They might go, oh no, Ashen Circle are a little bit too cheap. We'll push them up. Who knows? But it shows that it's almost like a live document and they're going to keep playing around with these things and try to get that balance right.
Considering we've got 45 pages there, and that's the second version of the FAQ.
Yeah.
It's 1.1. For us to only go, Malcadors and Valdors need a little tweak now.
And we might.
That's amazing.
We might not, one that this is look from reading the rules in the vacuum as well, of people getting them on the table, actually trying them.
But it might mean with the Malcadors especially, is people start looking at things like the LAS versions now. And saying actually, it's the points mainly with the Malcadors. So you were paying for them being super heavy, and now they're not super heavy. So
I think they want to keep the points to a certain level. These are older models, aren't they? You shouldn't be seeing them spammed too often. They should be something that you shouldn't see in every Legion army because these are the older design. These aren't the Mars designs, are they? These are so I don't know what they'll do. I think some kind of machine spirit thing needs
machine
to be done.
spirit would be good for machine spirit and a tweak to the points. I don't think they need to be slashed, but if you've got machine spirit and then or an option to give them the machine spirit plus a percentage drop, I think people would go, okay, they're not auto included now, but if I've got a 2, I've still got a reason to put them in my army if I've got points gaps.
And maybe the Imperial Army stroke solar Valdor thing, rather than people having to think about buying the support officer HQ to raise that BS to 4.
If they could
maybe you had something like tank ace, and the person that's driving that tank has BS 4, and he doesn't get any of the other benefits that the 50-point HQ does, but it just something that gives it makes it.
That's what I'm saying. Targeters are a +1 to ballistic skill for like a 15-point upgrade. Great, there you go. Got targeters fit.
Get it for free, free
points wise. Build them into the cost.
Just something like that will just maybe make the thing.
Don't build it into the Infernus. Build it into the into the.
Don't need it on the Infernus.
You're not wanting to fucking hit. That's wrong.
No. But I think that needed a bit of a debuff.
Oh yeah, taking super heavy away from the Val.
I never bought one because I felt like people aren't going to enjoy playing it.
But now you think, well, it could get one shot by a las cannon and go up in my lines. Well,
so it's got a little bit. You just want something that you always want that balance, don't you? Yes, it could be one shot, but do I want my beautiful model one shotted off as well? You got to have. I always feel that games have got that nice balance.
Well,
the models that you like stay in the game long enough that you can enjoy them, but they're not so overpowered that they dominate and sweep.
This is where degradation comes in, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is where playing AOS with Behemoths that degrade, it makes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. But anyway, that is something that's not going to happen. That's not coming
soon.
No, that would be a total rewrite. But anyway, I think that covers us for FAQ. Come at me, Gilliman's the king.
Lord Marshal Great, sir. Legion reinforcements now visible on the left flank.
About time. The wolves, I see.
No, sir. Ultramarines, sir.
But they're wearing grey, Proclamator Fennec.
Fox message said new recruits, sir. No time to paint armour.
At least the Raven Guard are in black armour.
Sorry, sir. That's more Ultramarines.
For Emperor's sake, fox them and find out why.
Also new armour, sir. Their eye lenses are red and the bolt guns are silver. 3 colours minimum, sir.
What the? Get on the Vox now and tell them to contact Miniature Realm Studio.
Miniature Realm Studio, sir.
Yes, Fennec. Miniature Realm Studio offers a commission painting service, competitive rates, and a range of painting standards to suit most budgets and requirements.
Yes, sir. I suppose they do say that fully painted is for closers.
What does that even mean, Fennec?
I don't know, sir.
Miniature Realm Studio can be found on Facebook, on Twitter at Miniature Realms, on Instagram at Miniature Realm Studio, or just drop Stuart an email at miniaturerealmstudio@gmail.com.
Well, fair play, Stu. That was a fucking long advert. That seems to have taken a month
For us, not for them.
Yeah, a month-long advert.
I've not installed a month-long silence into the audio track.
Somebody had listened to it, and somebody would comment
Might
that
take a while to upload.
Well, somebody would comment that it was better than the shit I talk anyway. I'll get in there before. Yeah, full disclosure, it's been a month since we recorded the first half that you've just listened to. So I think we talked about that we were going to try and slot in a little bit of Book 8 talk. If and when the book was arriving, we were guessing about what it is. So yeah, we recorded the first half of the show, and the book came out, and Stu had a baby. Or more correctly, Emma had a baby.
Yeah, she did.
I keep saying that. Stu's had a baby. He didn't have a baby.
I'm glad it was her.
Yeah. Apparently the equivalent is pushing a tennis ball out your jap, sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it firsthand, so yeah, it looks painful.
Yeah, I'll never...
Quicker than the first time round.
Yeah.
But,
I'll never forget the sound of my daughter's head grinding against the bottom of my then partner's pelvis. That is a sound that will stay with me for the rest of my life. And when they said, "Do you want to see the head crowning?" and I went, "No."
didn't you? I watched it, didn't
No!
I didn't see it the first time. This is a lovely conversation.
My ex-mother-in-law was there, so she was down that end. To be fair,
Oh, you had to be there with them. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Lovely.
full disclosure, I was 17 at the time,
Yeah,
mate.
it's true. Slightly different.
Slightly different.
I didn't see it the first time round because she was in the pool first for Jacob, so I was.
Did you not get your
trunks
trunks on and do a cannonball?
Oh, God, no.
Cannonball!
Do you know what that water's like?
I imagine full of piss and blood.
Yeah, and the rest.
Piss, blood and shit.
Yeah, pretty much floating around.
It's like one of
They
them-
have a net.
It's like one of them warp storm portals that you've got to get out.
You have to kind of skim the top. You almost need a pool boy to come and. Oh, horrible. So yeah, no, I saw more this time because she wasn't in the pool this time. But
That's not the intro we planned to this
No,
section at all.
no. It has to be talked about. I was winding her up for a couple of weeks beforehand about how much she might tear.
Yeah,
We were coming up.
That's something they don't tell
We
you
were coming
about.
up with names for what would your genitalia be called if it was
I've already got the name.
combined?
I've already got the name. I've had this discussion.
A
every year.
bumgina.
No, a poogina.
A vagina.
It's a poogina.
I'm glad we've in completely separate conversations have come up with
I've
very
come
very similar.
It's almost like we've a very similar mindset towards these things. Anyway,
Yeah.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank
You
you.
have we now have a genuine reason why I turn up, and an hour and a half after I turn up, we haven't started recording because we chatted for 40 minutes like we normally do, and then you had to feed the baby. So,
Yeah, well, I was
know.
going to record while I was holding him, but he was a bit grouchy.
Well, what
shall we
you
say.
what you tactically did is decide to chat to me until the baby started grizzling. Wait till the baby grizzled and fit it, and by that time Emma had put Jacob to bed and handily passed off the baby.
Exactly.
It's
Good
almost,
timing.
it's almost like you planned it, isn't it? So yeah, it's a month after we recorded the first half. There's been a lot going on in that time, and actually more importantly than the book and the baby, we sold out an event as well.
Yeah, the one that we kind of rambled about.
Yeah. So
about
that event that we
an
talked
hour
about for an
ago
hour
to you
ago.
people.
Yeah, it's all sold out and done now.
and a lot of the things we hadn't decided have now
They've
been
been
decided.
decided.
But we won't talk about it now because it'll make it
The interesting
fucking
thing is-
confusing show.
Sam and Dan still don't know anything about the ascendancy system.
No.
They've sold all their tickets. But yeah, anyway, 6 minutes, we sold the whole fucking thing. That was mental. It actually took 2 minutes to sell the Sedem and Centurion events. 2
And
minutes.
the people left had to do your event.
Yeah, they're in for a hell of a time when they realise I can't be asked anymore. No, it's going to be good. Anyway, yeah, like we said, we'll save that. So we are back with some Book 8 chat. We are both sat here with lovely shiny
It's
books.
been a good gap because I feel like this makes it more of a complete show.
It made sense. We discussed it afterwards and we thought, do we bang the show out? We had a show in the bag. We thought, do we bang it out? And not very long after we recorded, it was like, oh, the book's
We knew
coming.
the book was going to arrive.
And it was like, well, if we release a show and there's no Book 8 chat in it, we would have the show wouldn't have gone out because with baby coming 11 days earlier than planned.
11 days earlier. So.
You didn't have time to edit it, so we'd have dropped the show after Book 8 had got into our
And
hands.
you'd all be wondering why
we
we
hadn't talked about
it.
Book 8.
And then we might struggle to get time again to
get
record
a-
another full show,
No.
whereas now we're grabbing
We-
an hour to sort of just do a first
Yeah.
impressions.
Yeah, so first impressions, it cost me 150 quid when I bought 2 books at the same time, but I do now have,
You have
books
them all.
1 to 8. I bought book
I'm
3
still
at the
missing
same time.
book 5. Don't need any of
I
those.
don't know why you didn't buy book 5. It's the most
Book 3 was the
important
last one you bought as well.
It's ironic, isn't it? Neither of us bought the other. Well, we both had a copy each anyway. We had a
two most boring legions, really, isn't it?
fuck off. I think I've already had a rant on this show about how important the Ultramarines are. It's already been. But anyway, yeah.
They are very, very important in about 10,000 years' time.
Yeah.
Not from now, obviously.
when the 41st Millennium Tory comes back. Have we ever put that out public, or was that just a joke between me and you?
I think we mentioned it.
Yeah,
I think we mentioned it.
There we go. But anyway, book 8. It has been 2 years since we've had a book.
It is.
And I think the first impression I have is I'm actually really glad it's taken 2 years because it's come out in a really bloody good way.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Inferno dropped, there were some big issues. And it was a negative for the community in part.
It was mixed, wasn't it?
It was a mixed
excitement
reception.
of a beautiful book with lovely background, beautifully presented, but there's a kind of a bit of a concern around how many of the rules that maybe weren't quite.
There were issues in the book, quality assurance issues or clarity issues. There were issues in terms of power. There were issues in terms of with the famous Inferno tourists in the.
I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah, so I think it's brilliant. I'd actually love it if there were more Easter eggs in the books like that because it's fucking brilliant. I love that kind of crap. But I think the issue with that is it didn't feel deliberate.
Yeah.
It felt like a mistake. I think that time maybe marked a low point in the heresy. We had a black book that hadn't... All the other black books that come out had been universally exciting and well received. Inferno came out, it wasn't great. We lost Alan, obviously, which was a big blow to the community. We had through a period of transition, which has been difficult with maybe with The Last Chance to Buy, a lack of a book coming out. But I think what Book 8 is kind of the crowning achievement of a new era.
Yeah, it's the set. To be honest with you, it's part of what the transition has been happening behind the scenes for 2 years, and so is the FAQ is part of that. And before the FAQ, some of the new units that were released, because I think some of the new even the things that aren't in this book that will be in the next one, like the auxiliary tank and the termite and those kind of things.
Yeah, the massive Dildro.
They all along this kind of these are all good. They're good. They feel right. The point is about right.
The Velatari that came out for the Custodes, we all went, cool. Yeah,
so everything
great.
that's come out post book 7 rules has been good, and that has been the new team in terms of the way they're going to work. But this is the first full
punt at a black book
publication in terms of a publication you purchase,
and
rather
I think
than an FAQ or something that's PDF.
I think in terms of we now have a great new book, which has a great set of 3 great army lists in it. Mm-hmm. Some great additional stuff for most forces. It has a fucking wealth of information. Of every time I read a page, I think I've been sending pictures of people going, "What the fuck does that mean? Oh my god, what's that?" These little tidbits and the detail and just interest in it. I mean, it's covering such an interesting topic, because it is basically a demonology book. Mm-hmm. There is a huge section at the front on the understanding of demons, the history of demons, the history of psychers, and from the Great Crusade and all that kind of stuff. And in full disclosure, I have not read the book full way through yet, because it is a wall of text and information, and there is so much to process. The detail on the campaigns, the Chondax and the Cygnus campaigns is insane. It's brilliant. Every page I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. Oh man, that's amazing. It's an exciting thing to have in your hand, and I'm going to be reading it for months, because I will be going back and rereading sections and reading new bits, as it sparked off all different bits of my hobby. I love the artwork, I love the book, I love the rules, the game, things I think it's going to bring to the gaming, the ideas it's sparking in the community in terms of hobby, with demon armies that are popping up and people going crazy with demon armies, converting things, going wild about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's really sort of, it hits every pot. There's not just, oh well, the fluff's okay, but the fuck of this army rule is good, or the fluff's amazing but the rules are a bit fucked. Every section of it invigorates a part of my hobby experience. Yeah,
I would agree. I mean, like you, I haven't read through much. I've probably read a lot less than you. It's quite a heavy tome to read one-handed, and I felt myself one-handed quite a lot. With
those metal corners going into a small baby's head.
You could kill someone with this book. I read the demon rules because that was the thing that you can make a lot of assumptions about the Blood Angels and the Scars rules based on what you already know. Yeah. There's going to be different things, but you kind of know what they're going to be like. Yeah. But I wanted to read through and see what that was like. So that's the only thing I've actually read. The only section I've fully read through. And absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I think it's it's been out there long enough now. From the people who at the weekend that got in early enough, I think if there were any major issues with the book, people would have been talking about it now. So I'm confident, having not even read it cover to cover, I'm confident that we're not going to start finding problems as such.
I think the only thing that's sort of come up, and I haven't explored.
I mean, major things. There's always going to be the odd little.
Is the Psi Arcana? I think there is some elements where people have gone, "Oh, that seems a bit strong," but every discussion I've seen where someone's like, "This is really strong," the other person's come back with, "Yeah, but it's like 75 points, mate." It's a big upgrade. So I don't think there's any issues, but it's one of the things that running an event, it's a thing I think. I need to read through that and just see what we'll do with Psi Arcana. Is it something we're going to just free fall allow into the legions, or is it like the relics that we've had from book 3 where people go, yeah, they're great in campaign, but they're there was. I remember when I got in and it was when I first jumped into Heresy and everybody had a Void Shield harness on a Centurion in their Primarch Death Star to give their Primarch Death Star a Void Shield harness, and pretty quickly everyone went, yeah, that's not what they're meant for. I just need to read through it and go. Yeah. Doing it because
hopefully it's something that doesn't need to be.
I mean, for instance, let's just take the first one. There's the the Null Amp Collar. Yeah, it's a 15 point for a Librarian, Psycho or Esoterist. What's it give you? You can deny the witch if you're within 12 instead of being directly affected, which is great. But you take a -1 initiative. Cool. Yeah, that's a fair balance. Yeah, okay. You get to deny the witch within 12.
I think as long as you can self-regulate with these things. The problem with, if we use Talons as an example, the problem with Talons is that if you wanted to play them, you couldn't really self-regulate. The best way of self-regulating was not playing them, which was what happened with a lot of things. These books are designed again for narrative, relaxed play. They're designed for you can play them at an event, but they're designed. I don't think they're designed for organised play, are they? The way that every other systems that GW, that Specialist Game Studio, that Forge World puts out there. The Heresy is the one thing without 3 ways to play.
Yeah, I guess this is the one.
So it's about being smart about what you take, talking to your opponent.
But it's like this. It's like
trying to make take those things. If you're up against a really, really strong demon list, the book's designed to be used in that way, isn't it?
There's you look at this one, the ever-changing axiom. Praetor, Archmagus, or Lord Marshal. Instead of fighting, they hit initiative step 1. You roll a dice. On a 1, you get 1 or 2. You get a number of small blast markers equal to the number rolled. So 1 or 2 small blast markers. A roll at 3. You place 3 small blast markers. Sorry, it's roll a D3. A 1, 2, or 3. Those they don't scatter, and they're strength 8 AP2. So okay, that's pretty good. You get 1, 2, or 3 small blast markers. That's strength 8 AP3. That's AP2. That's pretty fucking nuts. It's 60 points and you can use it once. That's a big upgrade on a Praetor who you're probably already decking out with stuff. So
and there's other ways to get that level of firepower.
So when you look at the bottom half of the rules and you go, whoa, 3 small blast strength 8 AP2? Whoa, fuck me. But then you go, okay, it's only on my Praetor. I'm only going to have one of them. It's 60 points as well.
Am I going to use my Praetor that way?
Yeah.
Or am I going
to use my Paragon Blade Power Fist to murder through my Blade of Salty Tears anyway? So I look through it and every time I go, ooh, fuck, I go, yeah, but actually that's balanced by that. Everything strong has a counterbalance. Toxiferum weapons, they're great. I think
this game system is full of weapons that are fucking shit out and do loads of damage.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
It's
you
devastating.
You finish games with hardly any models left on the table.
Oh shit! If you've got one model left on the table, most people have done quite well. Especially if it's Tom and
it's very easy to look at, look at stat lines and things and get carried away before.
Yeah. But it's like I said, it's the only thing in there because there's so much in there that you need to go through it.
You just got to play it. You just got to let it happen and see what happens.
We'll do what we normally do. Shit in hell. There we go. That's a great one. Pete needs this one. 1 Praetor Centurion Consul may take Chigorian Dreamplate Armor for 10 points. Model kit with Chigorian Dreamplate Armor is a 3+ invulnerable against wounds caused by demons or demons of Ruin Storm. Now, 10-point upgrade. If you know you're playing Dan's Demons, fuck me, I'm slapping that onto my Praetor. But you don't come up against...
It's Chigorian, isn't it?
Chigorian. But it doesn't say it's White Scars only.
Okay.
Unless I've missed something. Probably. But yeah, you go, okay, cool, that's a 3+ invuln. But it's only against demons, so if I go my weekend event and I don't play demons all weekend, I've spent 10 points on an upgrade that means nothing. So
must paint
Cool.
a section of his armor white.
Yeah.
Dream plate.
Just mark it. Yeah. So there's cool stuff in it. Like there's fucking hell. What's that? Sorry. May exchange the Paragon blade for a Divining blade for an additional 30 points. So you got to pay for the Paragon blade first, and then you got to pay for the Divining blade. Melee strength +2 AP 1. Fuck me. So that's a Praetor at strength 6 AP 1.
Yeah.
Melee, instant death, mastercrafted, Silash, and two-handed. So you're going at initiative at strength 6 AP 1 with instant death with a mastercraft, and the Silash, demons, Brotherhood of Psychers, or Psychic Pilot must rule. Then randomly select one model to suffer damage. So you take a Perils of the Warp. Basically, it causes Perils of the Warp. Okay, great. That's fucking good. I mean, that's good against anything. Strength 6 AP 1.
Yeah.
Okay, you're two-handed, so you're not getting an extra attack for your pistol, but, so what? But it's... What's a Paragon Blade upgrade? 25 points? 25 points? So another 30 points for the Divining Blade? You're talking 50 points.
So you can add all this stuff,
but it's got
your army would be geared to take on demons really well.
Yeah.
But you go up against the Legion force, and you suddenly find out, why is their army bigger than mine? Oh, yes, because I've upgraded everything so much that my army's a lot more expensive.
Digital bears a grant an increase of +D3 attacks and initiatives to the end of the following turns. After the effects have worn off, the bearer's attacks for initiative characters and attacks and initiative are reduced to 1 for the remainder of the game. Okay, I'm going +D3 on my initiative and my attacks, but for the rest of the game, I'm fucked now. If I throw that on, what's it? It's on a librarian or Diabolist or Exteris, another 30 points. Yeah, but that one time that I've got, it's Caliman like that, because if he gets +D3 attacks with his instant death tainted weapon, we fuck some real people up. But for the rest of the game, he's going to be initiative 1. Now, if you're clever and you give him a chain fist, and a chain fist and something, there's way. But you've one attack. What I like about all of these are ones I'm literally just flicking through and picking them at random. Every one of them I've gone, oh, that's really good. But there's a counter side to it. So that kind of sums up this book very nicely. I think a lot of them, and a lot of the FAQ rules and the playtest rules, everything's gone. Well, that's good. Everything that got good without a deduction was because it was shit and it's got better. Everything that was too good everything's balanced. Everything feels like there's a balance. There's an intention.
There's intention to do it. Yeah, absolutely.
So I really, really like that, I mean, I fucking... One of the comments I think you made to me, actually, when we first got booked, was it felt a little light on artwork.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that's just a perception. I haven't sat there and counted colour plates versus... And I'm still not sure if it's just the layout.
My initial thought was, no, it's okay. Having flicked through it a couple of times, I think there are less pieces of artwork, but more bigger pieces. So there's a couple of big 2-page artworks. There might be a few less colour plates in terms of vehicles and stuff, but I still think there's a healthy selection. I think
that's what it... Yeah, it's not too late. It was just... But maybe it's because there's a lot more pages...
Of text.
Of just pure text without even a red sidebar or something like that. It just felt flicking through.
I definitely understood where you come from. But
there's
I think
quite in a row. There's a lot with none. Don't get me wrong. The text is the most important. Yeah.
But the quality of the artwork is still insane.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. There's a slightly different style for a couple, and that's just natural when you're creating a series of books over a long period of time. You're not going to get the same artist.
And the people creating that book is evolving.
Yeah. So there's a couple that are slightly different style to maybe. So the cover art is very, very much what cover art's been on all the other books.
Yeah,
but there's
that fits the style. Yeah,
is it the Cygnus Prime pictures a different style, isn't it?
It's the Sanguinius versus Cabanda big double page art.
Just a different artist.
But it's much more. Do you know what it reminds me of? And I don't want to say this this is not.
It's like the AOS artwork.
It's like the AOS, but it's that. What I think is it's got the AOS style, but with that kind of mixture with the grim dark that we like.
I don't know who did it, to be honest.
But I love it. I love it.
I like it.
I really
it's
like
nice to
the
change.
AOS style of art, but what's nice is there is some more traditional.
I'm not precious about those things because they're all interpretations of the same as someone painting an army. They're all interpretations of
I got from
what's in the text.
Yeah, especially with that Sanguinius picture. What I got is it feels more like a classical painting.
Yeah,
and it fits the feel of Sanguinius and that Legion. It feels like they should be. They wouldn't take pictures of their battles. They would paint frescoes of it.
It is,
and that artwork feels right. If you've got the Ultramarines, it's pictures of marble columns because we are the Ultramarines and that's what we do. Or the Fists or something. If it's the Emperor's Children, it's just shit and piss up the wall. Like your pool. But But yeah, the artwork felt like it. I looked at it and went, "That's a different style," but in no way does that deteriorate from.
There's more of a romantic kind of Renaissance
yeah, it
feel.
felt very, very much like what you would expect of the Angel. So yeah,
It's very cool. Very cool.
So, any other first impressions?
No, not really. It's solid. It
It's
seems solid. It seems all the rules seem to have gone down pretty well. We will know in 12 months' time once it's been played within the meta.
Yeah.
I don't know how many events there have been because Adepticon went on the old rules. We've not really had any big event feedback on things.
There's one big event in July that's going to be running all this shit and all the playtests.
But in terms of a wide context from different parts of the world,
I'll be in different environments.
I don't think we've had. Have we had any events? There must have been some, but
I can't think of anything in the UK at least that's been on since the book. Because it's not just about the book being released; it's the book
People
being
getting their
released with
armies
enough time for it. That's why I'm thinking the Unemployed will be a good example. There will be other events because there is 3 or 4 months of run up to it, which will give people time to do the new consoles, for people to be able to model up additional things for their units. With demons, will be ready. You know, I think we will see it. I'm not saying it will be the first, but I'm saying it hopefully will be relatively early, which is going to be great because it means I'm going to spend a weekend going, I don't know how that shit works. I haven't read the book yet.
That's something if surprised me, if anything, and it's not a criticism, is that I probably expected there to, and I said this to you when I first flipped through, I expected there to be the Termite to be in there, all of the new Auxilia, Imperial Army tanks and all those things.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fairly common view, that.
And it's a guess, a pure guess, but I wonder whether they thought, you know what, we need to fix, and I'm glad they did this, we need to do something with the Talons list, and that maybe took up the space that some of that stuff would have. I would. And in addition to that, I think there's Imperial Army stuff coming in Book 9 anyway, so again, it makes sense to add those units into that as well. So we've got the PDFs, we're still usable, they're just not official till they're in there, so it makes no difference.
Since Day Dot has relied on PDFs and stuff. There's always been stuff on PDF and things like that. You know, we've always done that. I think I would put my lunch money on that being the reason. You know, they realised, they knew the Custodes, because let's be honest, it's Custodes army list revision. It is a Talons army list.
Well, it says Talons, but there's only Custodes entries.
Because the sisters were generally received as being okay.
Is it every Talons entry?
Yes, it's a full.
I haven't gone through. I've looked through the pages, but I know the sisters' units aren't there, so I didn't know whether every single Talons unit was.
It brings in all the PDFs of the Custodes. It brings in. There's a new unit, a couple of new units. So is the Velataris in there? I don't think the Velataris are in there.
Which they
the new the jump pack units.
Yeah, I think they are.
Oh, they might be. I don't know. But
because it's different, because they haven't got the Valdor artwork and stuff in there on his page.
Yeah.
The page isn't kind of.
It's much more. It's more. I think again that's efficiency. They needed to get more stuff in, so they cut out the artwork because we got the artwork.
So instead of a double page.
They condensed it down. But it includes. I think it includes all the FAQ stuff and some further additional changes to stuff, and that's taken the pages that would have been, because we normally have new Legion Astartes editions, new Mechanicum unit editions and stuff now, which we don't have,
doesn't it?
But I think actually it was more important to get that out there.
Yeah, I would agree. It surprised me, but I totally
I think
agree.
When you step back and think, actually that was the right call.
And with the next book being Dark Angels, and you need something else other than Dark Angels, and it sounds like it's got Dark Mechanicum and Imperial Army, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Dark Mechanicum.
Oh yeah, no, not going to do that.
Hail Satan.
You'll leave Dark Angels to book 10.
Drop Dark Angels. Fuck them.
That would be bad news.
Because Killer might actually murder the entire.
It
UK
makes
team.
sense. It definitely makes sense, and it sounds like they're well underway with that book anyway. So
I think
I can imagine at the latest we'll see it will be the weekend, as long as they don't have any more shipping issues, kind of thing. I can't see that being from the noises that came out from the weekend.
I can see the plan. I can see the plan being at the weekend, because it does make for a good centerpiece release at the weekend. I think they've got so much AT stuff lined up, Necro stuff, all the other stuff lined up that I think.
And we'll still be devouring this. We won't need it.
I don't think we need more than a book here, and this book especially has got so much in it that we
interested in the future that though. You'd have probably heard this as well. There was loads of chatter about how many books there may be, and we've talked about this a lot. And there was quite a few people saying they quite openly said we're about a third of the planned way through, which interested me quite a bit, because.
There's a lot more books.
Well, in one sense, that's I should be over the moon with it. And the other side of that, I can't imagine that if we are only a third of the way through, that the books would continue in this format. I wonder
I would
whether
rather-
they'd be black like this, but maybe half the size or a third of the size.
If we are a
and
third of the way
campaign-based.
through, if we are a third of the way through, they need to put the earlier books into softback with no rules, and they need, because you cannot keep selling a book one that's 10, 15 years old at that point, with rules that don't exist at £75 a book.
No,
they're
already
no marketing
doing.
sense for it.
They're already doing.
Well, this was
something
supposed to be a from what I understood, book 3 and book 6. No, book 4 and book 6. Yeah, book 4 and book 6 are coming out of softback as a stopgap measure, as far as I understood it,
Right.
rather than this is a new thing. But I would hope if the softbacks sell well, there's an okay, cool, that actually worked quite well.
Yeah.
Because I bought book 3 for the fluff.
Yeah.
I paid £75 for a book.
Or
with
maybe
rules
you
in
get a compendium when you get
book-
it isn't a big expensive
book
book, but it's book 1 to
6,
3.
or book 1 to 6 is a 300-page softback of fluff and rule of
Well,
fluff.
I think it'll be. I think
You know what I mean,
I imagine it's too big.
Yeah.
I imagine just the fluff alone is 2/3 of these books.
Yeah.
So
or whatever it is.
you might, be able to combine a couple to do it.
Book
But
1, 2, 3, book 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 3 books in there, and then we could have, and then in a few years' time we can have 7, 8, 9.
especially if you strip out the Zone
Rules
Mortalis rules, so you want to keep the campaign rules in there
I'd
probably.
love a Zone Mortalis
Because that goes with the campaign.
I don't know if the Nuge listens and Nuge O'Neill listens, but a Zone Mortalis campaign book up to date, even if it's a short, like a Doom of Moloch AT book, you know, a compendium with all the rules, because we're based off 40k 7th Ed rules that don't really, and it's a mishmash of rules. Let's make a Zone Mortalis companion book. If you make a Zone Mortalis companion book in a softback, I can guarantee you your shareholders will fucking wet themselves all the way to the bank.
Well, that's the interesting thing, because I can't see them doing 30 books, 25 books in this format this big. For a start, they can only produce one a year.
Yeah.
Do the maths. It's not going to work.
15 of these books and 15 smaller AT style campaign books. You know, we could have a Moloch book. Let's have a Moloch, just a Moloch campaign book.
I wonder if
no army rules in it. It's
that's
just a campaign system.
The future, because the other thing,
one thing I mentioned, the fucking campaigns in here, the Cygnus and the are amazing. I read the missions and went, oh my god, that's insane! I love it. It's brilliant. That's going to screw with so many people.
This is the other important thing about that is that we're just getting into the Siege of Terra novels. People aren't going to wait.
For Siege of Terra.
Probably not going to wait 5 years for Siege of Terra in terms of they want to play the games now.
I think after Dark Angels there will be a cry for we want Siege of Terra.
So how are they going to manage that? I can only imagine that if they do want to do 25, 30 books, that maybe we'll get to the point quicker.
We'll complete the narrative and then go back and look at specific. Because I know
they'll be smaller, and maybe you'll get 2 or 3 a year
Yeah.
in the specialist games. That's something I know. I don't know if I don't know what I was going to check before we started recording, but inside the credits page,
Specialist Design Studio.
I don't know if it said that before.
No, it probably couldn't have done before because the Specialist Design Studio didn't exist at book 1, 2, 3.
But there's always been this kind of
Forge World Studio.
Specialist Design Studio is that just because they all share each other's stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's kind of under the Forge World banner, but then it's a Specialist Design and are Middle Earth in it? Are they not? And all this kind of thing. And the Heresy team was always another small team that worked under Forge World, but you didn't think of the Specialist Design Studio.
But I think it's definitely now, it's a Heresy team in the Specialist Design Studio.
I didn't really actually say what we're talking about. So on the credits page, when it says who it's written by, and it actually says produced by the Games Workshop
Page
Specialist
4.
Design Studio on page 4, whereas in the books 1, 2, and 3 actually had author credits and all the people who worked
That's
on it.
changed quite
and then
a bit,
in
though.
book 4 onwards, or maybe book 5 onwards, it changed
The
down
studio.
to design, the Forge World Studio, I think it said. And this one actually says Specialist Design Studio, which kind of feels right more. It feels like feels like who's doing it makes sense that all those people kind of get together. You got your teams within the Specialist Design Studio, but it's all part of that studio. So
cool. Right, should we give a little brief overview of the plan? So the plan is to delve into book 8 into some detail. I think we both want to start with demons first, because I think that's where
we haven't
where
asked
the
the people who we
is.
want to get on yet, but we
don't fucking ask him. Just fucking tell him.
Yeah, so Pete and Dan, you'll be on doing
bitches,
that.
you're coming on because Dan's been.
But they've been playing games, and
they've
Dan's
been playing games. They've actually got real world
built and
data.
painted an army almost before the rules came out. He
Yeah,
was desperate
and
to-
Pete's had his shit pushed in repeatedly by it. So we're going to talk about it. So yeah, get some real world data on that, and then we'll cover Scar's demon. I think we'll do a Scar show, a demons show, a Scar show, an Angel show, and then I think we'll cover Custodes and all the additional consoles and the Sayakana stuff in sort of one roundup, which is probably exactly, I think,
Like a mop-up thing, yeah.
exactly what the Age of Darkness boys are doing. So we fucking shamelessly steal that from them guys. But yeah, no, we're gonna cover
You might
that.
well find that the mop-up stuff just gets covered anyway during general chatter, because those consoles might get used in games.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement around the new consoles, which we haven't even touched on. That I think people are out there building and converting stuff. I think the idea of the consoles, I think, is a brilliant idea, because I think it gets everybody's juices going, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's something that every
and it's easy to produce them.
Yeah, you might have a complete army. You can think, I can just add it. It's fun. Add a character.
You add a character and it can change the full.
And the book's got something new for everyone in that sense, so it's good. That's quite good.
Cool. Right, that's the plan. Let's piss off and wrap this one out.
Has your performance been letting you down recently? Have your bombs been jettisoned before your mission was complete? Do you find yourself accidentally rolling too early? Has your bag dropped its load before the game? Then Grayed Out Productions have the answer. Michael's handcrafted dice bags are a must-have for any tabletop gamer prone to spilling their pearlescent gaming A's before they're ready. Why not check out Grayed Out Dice Bags on Facebook, at their website at www.gradeoutproductions.com, or find them on Etsy. Grayed Out Productions are the only place where you can get the official Geno52 podcast dice bag, and Geno listeners can get 10% discount by entering Geno52, all in words, at the checkout in the Etsy store. Get control of your load today.
Bow bow. Aye, we are back for another attempt at a close down. So I'm going to start off the close down with an apology first. We did record a month ago. Shout out for Lucas Lyon's event in Texas, and
Which
we went
was
through it all
last weekend.
and it was last weekend.
So I listened to it when I was putting the first part of the show together. I thought, yeah, I'm going to delete that.
So apologies, mate. We did record you. We did shout out, and then some selfish bastard had a baby and didn't bother putting the show out.
Bastard came 11 days early.
Don't call your newborn child bastard.
I had a week's work left to do, which I'm doing now, so I'm behind on that. He's he caused some problems coming early, bastard.
We literally, I was amused when I got here and was chatting to him, and I was like, when we recorded last, we were having a good long chat, and you were like, all right, I've got this plan, I've got 11 days, so I'm going to do this bit of work, I'll finish this off, that means I've got this crap, and my clients know that I'm ready for this bit, and you got it all planned out, and it was all really sick, and what would happen if it delayed a little bit, and how you'd move stuff around. The only thing you hadn't planned for is being 11 days early and totally screwing.
I expected to be late, if anything, rather than early, but I'm okay. My understanding client, the other client who I'd only booked a little bit of work in this month to give me some time off. That won't be late because it could have been done at any point in the month. But what it has done is destroyed my personal painting time. So far, I have done 2 hours of my 2 Golden Demon projects.
Speed painting Golden Demons.
I built them, and I did 40 minutes the other day, just basically airbrush sketching in some NM, so I can know where to go back with the hairy brush. At this moment in time, I may not be entering anything, so he's completely up in the air now. So he's kind of screwed that, but it's not really important.
Mate, they'll do that for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Mine's 14 and still screwing with me.
I'm not going to rush him. I just won't end.
Yeah, I think you.
Whereas a couple of years ago, I'd have done something to get it done.
Yeah,
this time
you're much more in a position where I think you're at that position now where if you rushed it and entered, you would be even if you got a pin or something, you'd be disappointed because you knew you'd rushed
I'd
it.
only be, I've got no chance of doing anything other than getting a pin, but I want to make sure that I've got
let's face it,
a chance to get a pin rather than just put something in.
It's going to be a devastating crowd this year because I think, who's it? Land's coming over. Yeah, Andy's definitely working on something.
There is
Sopa's back. Rich Gray's
nowhere
back.
Near.
Neil's back.
Nowhere near. Not even slightly near placing. Years off it.
I actually think as a viewer, I think it's gonna be fucking insanely good.
Well, I've still got a ticket, so I'm still planning on going down.
Are the tickets still available? Are they sold out?
I don't think they're sold out. They don't normally sell out.
I might see what the child wants to do and see if I can sneak a weekend off.
I've got a Sunday ticket.
I wasn't worried about missing it, and now we're getting closer. I'm more like, I can't do it. I'll talk to the child, see what she wants to do, because she's obviously much more important.
Yeah.
Any social services are listening.
Well, I've got the ticket and the wife pass as well.
So and that's the other thing. Actually, it'd be nice. We don't get to go many places together, so I've always enjoyed. It's always
a bit of a hangout.
Yeah, go out and hang out and and do some shit. So
we'll miss the likely miss Forge World Open Day because it's going to probably. They haven't announced it yet. It's probably going to be the same weekend as Tarsus or the weekend after. Or not Tarsus, sorry, Onion Ploy.
Do you know what? I keep calling it Tarsus. I keep getting messages. So, Tarsus. It's not Tarsus anymore.
So, yeah, it'd be nice. I want to go and look at the painting anyway. And,
yeah,
if I get something in, there's a chance that I might get one.
To be fair, we've always managed to fill a day with bumming around, chatting to people, walking around the exhibits, doing all that kind of shit. Anyway, so it's usually a good day.
I want to walk around the Forge World Stroke Specialist studio anyway.
I want to see what AOS is out there.
Well, pretty much everything they do, one of us has got a big kind of like. So we obviously both like Heresy. You super into Necromunda stuff. Yeah. I'm going to be looking at the Middle Earth stuff as well.
Yeah, we're both past AT and stuff as well.
We'll be hanging around there quite a lot.
I'm not into AT, but I've been playing a lot of Necromunda because we're running a campaign. Hint, there might be a open play soon.
Well, there's another book out. Just pre-order this weekend.
Yeah, mixed feelings about Doom and Molech coming out so quickly. I'm excited because it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm also a little bit like Necromunda. I haven't even finished reading Titan Death properly yet.
Well, this is. I wonder if we just played AT and we didn't play 28mm Heresy, where we'd be super excited about it. It's because we've got so much.
No, I just think after 1.25 releases for Necromunda for so long. I love the fact that Doom Molech's coming up. I'm not being negative about it, but it feels very soon after Titan Death. Titan Death hasn't had time to sink in.
It's still 1.25 though, isn't it? We're in a new quarter.
Yeah, but we've Titan Death was end of the quarter, and this is beginning of the quarter.
It wasn't though, was it? It's January, wasn't it?
Oh fuck! I don't know.
It was January. So we are in the first month.
Don't worry. Don't
worry.
worry. Some pedant is going to pick me up on the internet because that's what they like to do.
I think it's because we're interested in so much stuff.
And it might be because there's so much shit.
Black book in front of us, and I just think we actually don't. Because last year we had massive gaps where it would have been amazing if those books come out when we were waiting for book 8.
Now it feels like it's all.
And now it is too much. I won't buy it. I'm going to buy it.
I'm going to buy it.
I'm not going to buy it straight away.
No,
because I won't read it. I've not even read Titan Death.
To be honest, Payday's a bigger issue.
I will get more from it and more excitement from it when I start playing AT again, maybe in a few months' time, because it will. Things come in little cycles.
Well, I was thinking our Necromunda campaign,
and then I'll get excited and I'll go and buy it, and whatever the third book, because I'll probably bring out one in Q3
definitely.
as well.
The Necromunda campaign comes to the end mid-May, and so I think not that I won't want to play Necro after that, but I will definitely be at the point where okay, cool, I've played 3-4 months of that.
Yeah,
I'll move back onto AT or something. My AT, I still like looking at it in there. I haven't used my Plasma Annihilators yet. And
I haven't built or painted my Warhound yet. It's just sitting in the box.
We should get a game of that.
Well, everything else is painted. It's just that was that kind of. There's so much going on, so many systems. I've been playing Middle Earth as well, and there's a Battle Company's book that comes out as well. So that's another system and another rule book.
We are such addicts. We have got the hooks in both sides of our mouths. It's just like every week there's I can order that.
There's only really 3 systems I'm playing, and there's basically a new release for each one all at the same time.
Constantly.
So it's very hard to kind of to juggle them all. So nothing to moan about, but it does feel. I wouldn't have been upset if it wasn't around.
That's probably the fairer comment for Doom and Molech. If it had been another month or two, I would not have felt aggrieved by it. It almost felt like it got announced at the Weekender. That's probably more it. It got announced at the Weekender in February, and it's here in April.
Yeah,
it's that, which maybe is more because we're used to seeing things at the Weekender and it being a couple of months away. And maybe balancing it against we've seen stuff for Necromunda at last year's Weekender. They were talking about the guilds and stuff, and I know when they said about that, it was very early at the time, but we've got nowhere with that. So there seems to be a discrepancy between how fast things are coming in and out, but it's cool. It's a fucking great time to be in the hobby. I am not complaining about having stuff to buy. What I'm complaining about is trying to pay my mortgage and buy all these books as well.
Will they compile them all? Will they do the
Necromunda question?
Yeah. Will they bring out an all-in-one? It's a bit. It feels different. It feels like
Necromunda, the campaign books and everything coming together was.
Made sense
because they'd updated house lists and FAQ. They brought a lot of rules. They'd changed. There was significant. I think I had this discussion with Sam, didn't we? With Chapman, he was talking about one buy. Say buying the Underhive box now is not is fine for all the bits, but the rule book in there is irrelevant. If you're buying the Underhive box now, you need to buy the rule books because
if you want one of those gangs, maybe.
Yeah, well,
and then with all the boards and bits,
boards,
and
counters,
but and you wanted one of those games, so then it maybe makes sense. To.
But the rule book's irrelevant. Now, it's not irrelevant. The majority of the rule book works, but buying the new rule book and the new gang book means you're up to date and everything's there.
Yeah.
And so it works. But anyway, that's enough rambling on about other game systems and shit. But there will be an open play soon, hopefully. Anyway, yeah. Cheers, guys. We're going to piss off. And whose choice is it on music this time?
It's yours if you get the choice over to me like now.
I'll do it.
So I'm going to edit this and get it out now.
Awesome. See you in a bit.
Take me now. I have spent sleepless nights dreaming of the day that he'll come and take a step and walk towards my way. But brittle bones and aching limbs is where I wanna be. Oh, when that wicked man, oh, he comes for me. Oh, here's the Reaper man, he's looking after me. Oh, here's the Reaper man, he's coming to take me. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 no. I believe in redemption from a brighter